Okay, there we go. Yes. Oh my gosh. I am so sorry, guys. I really don't know how I did that. Thank you so much, Amy. Thank you guys for the votes of confidence there. For anyone who is waiting here, I had started this live stream over in the members only live stream link that is going to be starting or it's going to be happening on Sunday at 8 o'clock. So that was really crazy. So I'm sure that I lost a lot of people and I feel really bad about that. But this is the one that we're supposed to be in. So we'll just get going from there and I'm just going to get over it so I don't waste any more of your time. Let me just see if I can delete this one here. If not, that's okay. No, I can't. That's all right. No big deal. I'll do it another time. So if people start to watch it, they'll just realize it was like, craziness. Okay. Oh, man, guys. So yeah, it was a long week. That's for sure. But I hope you guys are all doing well. And Kevin, you said you're not feeling good either. And I know that Sarah said that she's feeling sick. So I hope everyone gets better. Over in Australia, it's winter for you guys, right? So that makes a little more sense. But there have been a lot of people, like over this way that have been really sick. In fact, the place that I work at, it's my new job. I was there for 5 days, 5 work days, got COVID for the second time, had it in January, even though I'm fully vaccinated. Since I've been there, all these other people are going out with COVID again. And the strange thing about that is the school is the premises, the grounds it's on, the buildings is an old tuberculosis hospital. I have some stories about that too. I'm not going to go into them just yet. But I swear to you, this may sound crazy to some people, or some people might totally get it. I swear that there's something with it being an old tuberculosis hospital that is, causing people to get COVID, like at this, percentage that is way above the general population. And no, I don't think that old tuberculosis germs are hanging around. And know that everybody is vaccinated to tuberculosis. I really just think that there's something energetically in there that is like, people have a hard time breathing. I feel that. And I just feel that. And that's all that there is to it. Oops. Okay, so let me shut that down. Okay, good. Okay, guys. So what we're going to be talking about tonight is something that people had been requesting we go a little bit back over. I've discussed this here and there in little bits and pieces, just in videos and live streams that are covering various areas of content having to do with this case. And it's basically the timeline as it relates to when Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts first started talking to one another, according to them, and according to the records of their first emails, that we have that are in discovery. And those are the first records that we have of them saying anything to one another. Okay. Kelly, it could be mold. Catherine, you know what? We've had an asbestos problem, but let me get back to that. That just caught my eye. Yeah, you're probably right. And Kevin, yes, we do need your expertise. If you ever want to come up to talk about the oil tanks, Kevin, I really would love you to do that. So again, it's the timeline as it has to do with Chris Watts and Nicole Kessinger first communicating with one another and then comparing that to what was going on with Shannan Watts and what she was presenting to the world and what the family was presenting to the world via these social media historic records, which, as you know, are very complete during the time frame that we are looking at to investigate anything with this case. Shannan Watts was a prolific Facebook poster, in part due to, her nature that she wanted to share. She wanted to share her life, her success, her family, things going on with her kids, with her friends and family and the rest of the world. And then also, as many of you know, having to do with the business she was involved in, which was an MLM business, a multi-level marketing business, Thrive, or the company is Lavelle. In multi-level marketing businesses, you're really calling upon your existing network of family and friends to start to generate your business. So for that reason, she was putting a whole lot out there, right? So, hi, DTC. How are you? Nice to see you, darling. DTC, we have to figure out when we want to do the sheets live stream. People have been requesting that. I don't want to do without you though, since you put together that information. And hi, Sherry Claiborne. How are you doing? So while I'm still getting some messages from some people who are going to be coming over here. So the first thing that I want to do as we are comparing these timelines of when Chris Watts and Nicole Kessinger first started talking to what Shannan was announcing on social media and what was going on with her. And there's some pretty shocking details there within when you really, do the research, do some deep digs and dives, extract the information and compare notes. You're just like, oh my gosh, right? So, all right. So I am going to bring one of the interviews into the feed here. And I'm just going to need your feedback, guys. When I bring the interview into the feed and start playing it, please let me know if you do or do not have audio on that, because I'm using the microphone is to try to avoid that weird clicking sound. All right. Not that one. That one. Okay.
I just turned the recorder. Okay. So again, this room is recorded. And
so do you guys have audio?
We introduced ourselves in the lobbies and earlier, so we're just going to do that again real quick. My name is Kevin Kovac. I'm with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and we're assisting the Frederick Police Department with this case involving Chris Watts. And this is Tim Martinez, also an agent at CBI. Sir, if you just introduce yourself.
Dwayne Kessinger. I'm Nicole's father.
Dwayne, what's your birthday?
November 3rd, 1958.
And home address for you, sir?
8801 West 65th Avenue.
What city?
And that's Arvada, 8004.
And a cell phone or a home phone or what?
Thank you, guys.
720-982.
So this is the August 16th interview from the
Nicole,
beginning.
Can you just introduce yourself for the recording?
Nicole Kessinger.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
bye-bye.
12255 Clark Court. Unit 612.
Moderators, feel free to block any trolls. There's been a lot of troll action on the channel lately, so just feel at liberty. I trust you guys.
Clark Court, is that? I think we determined it was North Glen, right? You know your zip code?
80249.
Okay. Can you speak up just a little bit so the recorder? I know you're tired and you're stressed, and we won't be here any longer than we have to be. You've already had a conversation with people before. You came here on your own free will to talk to us. We picked you up at your request and brought you here.
Oops.
You can get up and leave at any time. You don't have to talk to us. If there's a question you don't want to answer, don't answer it. If you don't want to talk anymore, just tell me I want to leave. And I'm kind of in the way of the door, but you're not being interrogated as a criminal suspect. We're here to understand your relationship with Chris and what you know about Chris and his family, and events relating to Chris Watts. And do you know him as Chris or Christopher?
Either one.
Okay. So the phone number that you reached him on, can you tell me what that number was?
I think I deleted that out of my phone too. I just cut him out of my life. It's a 910 number. You guys have it.
Now we gave it to Mark yesterday.
Yeah,
So
I probably
he'll
have it,
have
but
it.
just in case.
I don't have it
If I
anymore.
recited it to you, would you know it?
Just the first three numbers.
But you know it as a 910 number?
Yes, that's what I do know. I mean, that's what
North Carolina or something.
North
that's what
Carolina.
it is.
Okay. So let's just start with a timeline of your getting to know Chris, how you guys met, where you met, all those things. And let's just run. And I'm not going to ask you specific questions unless I think it's necessary. I'll let you just tell me your story. I think it's a little bit easier that way. So I just want to know how you met him, where you met him, how long you guys were dating, and those kind of things initially.
Okay. I think I met him sometime in June, probably early June. It might have been May. It was just talking at work. It was pretty casual. and he didn't have a wedding ring on his finger. And every time I talked to him, he didn't tell me that he was in a relationship. He didn't even mention his kids right away either. And then one day he told me that he had 2 kids. I was like, that's pretty cool. And started telling me about his kids.
That sounded like a sarcastic comment.
No, I thought it was kind of cute. I was like, oh, he's a dad. It was like right around Father's Day too. So whenever that is in June.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm not
that's-
good with holidays.
He told me he had kids, and then it was Father's Day shortly after
Okay.
that. So that's what I do now. And I was like, I thought it was cute. And then he's telling me about him. He's pretty excited about him. And then he mentioned that he did have a significant other. And then he told me that those 2 were in the process of a separation.
Did he mention the children's name or his significant other's name?
I didn't know his significant other's name for a while. And then I think he told me his kids' names pretty quick, but to be honest with you, on an exact date of when that happened, I don't know.
So in May and June, first of all, where do you work?
I work at Anadarko Petroleum Corporation. I'm contracted to Anadarko Petroleum Corporation
Okay, and you work out of an office setting where?
in Platteville, Colorado.
And Chris also works out of that location, per
Yes.
se.
Yes. He's in the field, but he comes into the office with his team.
So you work, what is your job responsibility?
I do health, safety, and environment.
Okay, so you work in the office and you take care of health safety for, Anadarko is an oil and gas company, right?
Yes.
So you're doing health safety in the office and Chris works in the field
Yes.
as what kind of job does he do?
He's an operator. So I don't know like all of his daily duties, but he's a field operator. So he works with like the oil wells.
So he goes out and does work on those, whatever
Yes.
that work might be. But he comes into the office frequent.
In the
Or-
mornings. His team meets in the mornings. They're not all in there every day. Some days some of them are in there, some days other ones are in there, but in the mornings typically from like 6:15 to probably 7, somewhere around there.
And is that where you met Chris?
Yes.
Okay. So can you just take us through kind of a little bit of the early part of how he courted you or you courted him? I don't know which one happened. How you guys got to know each other.
I guess we just started talking. He actually, so part of my job is to manage the gas monitors that we have. So Anadarko requires all of their field personnel to carry like gas monitor sensors for toxic gases, and it's my job to control the inventory, any issues, anything like that. And we were having some pretty serious like equipment issues, and we had numerous amounts of people coming in my office one day, and he happened to be one of them. And I'd seen him before, like they meet in the lunchroom, and that's where I go put my lunch in the fridge. So I'd seen him, but I didn't ever like talk to him. So that day we just started talking, and then every time I saw him in the hallway after that, and it was always hit or miss, like it wasn't an everyday thing. It was just when I saw him, we just started talking, and we just kind of had a lot in common and just hit it off. So we'd always have, pretty good conversations. And then I don't know. One day he told me that he had kids and started talking about his kids, and then mentioned, yes, that I have a wife, but we're getting separated. I said, okay. And
When do you think that was?
when he said all that,
So specifically when he told you he was getting separated from his wife, was that within the first couple of weeks that you knew him, or was that later on? You said you met him around May or June.
yeah, it was still in June.
Okay.
It would have been before Father's Day.
So had you guys ever gone out on any kind of
No.
date at that time?
Okay, guys. So here is the first major point that I would like to contest of Nicole Kessinger's testimony that she repeats time and time and time again throughout the 5 recorded interviews with this man right here, Kevin Kovac. At times I feel bad for him. At times I feel mad at him because I'm like, buddy, you really needed to step up your game, right? So we're talking about the year 2018. So in the year 2018, Father's Day was on June 17th, I believe. I'm checking that right now. I don't want to put out any inaccurate information. So Father's Day, yes, it was on Sunday, June 17th. So in 2018, Father's Day was on Sunday, June 17th. So let me go back just about 30 seconds. Everyone listen carefully again. So there is absolutely no mistaking what little Miss Kessinger said. Yes, something like that too, DTC Primetime. And welcome everybody who just came in. Glad you guys are here. We want to hear you clearly, Kessinger. Let's listen.
And every time I saw him in the hallway after that, and it was always hit or miss. Like, it wasn't an everyday thing. It was just when I saw him, we just started talking, and we just kind of had a lot in common and just hit it off. So we'd always have, pretty good conversations. And then, I don't know, one day he told me that he had kids and started talking about his kids, and then mentioned, yes, that I have a wife, but we're getting separated. So, okay. And
When do
then
you think that was?
when he said all that,
So specifically when he told you he was getting separated from his wife, was that within the first couple of weeks that you knew him, or was that later on? You said you met him around May or June.
yeah, it was still in June.
Okay.
It would have been before Father's Day.
So had you guys ever gone out on any kind of
No.
date at that time? You just
No,
were
no, no, no.
conversing at work?
Molson, man, congratulations on your new job. I can't wait to hear about this. I just saw Ara saying congratulations. So you guys just heard that right there. So she's talking about, she introduces how Chris Watts introduced himself and was speaking about his life. Mentioned his two cute little girls. And she says right off the bat, and he told me that he was getting separated. So Kevin Kobach, this is one of the places where he wisely has her pause, ask some questions. So he wants to, nail her to a timeline here. So he's saying, well, when was that? She says, well, it was before Father's Day, right? So we just established that Father's Day was on June 17th in the year 2018. So, we just make these simple comparisons throughout the Kessinger and Watts reported timeline with the rest of the information and evidence that has been put forth in discovery, that which is accurate at least, and we find so many major discrepancies. So let's take a look at this. Interesting. So nothing groundbreaking. Most people are, in fact, aware of this email. This is the first recorded communication between Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts. So I'll read it just because I like reading it. Chris, thank you for being honest with me this morning. Truthfulness is so underrated in our culture. Saludos cordiales, Nikki. Ugh, right? Ugh. So this is on June 12th. Oh, so Kevin Kobach just asked Kessinger when it was that Chris Watts told her that he and his wife were getting separated. Okay, she says it's before Father's Day. Father's Day in this year was June 17th. Let's continue to follow their chain of communication, all of which happened on this day, Tuesday, June 12th. So now Chris Watts says, Nikki, I'm a straightforward guy. Lying just complicates things. I think you're absolutely stunning. And from what I've learned about you so far, you seem like an amazing person. Skylar, get away from that cord. I'm sorry, there's my bunny. Sorry. You seem like an amazing person. I hope to continue to get to know you better since we have a lot in common. Chris Watts, E40's Rover /FC, whatever that means. So again, guys, this is on June 12th. Okay. So Nikki responds. So Watts sends this at he doesn't have a time. Oh no, he does. No. Well, she sends the first communication at 10:55. He then responds. There's no timestamp on it. She then responds at 2:31. So these emails are going back and forth pretty quickly, especially during a work day when you're supposed to be working. So Nicole Kessinger says, Chris, agreed. It's always nice to find people you can relate to. I enjoy talking to you as well. I feel understood. I am looking for someone to build a beautiful life with. Seems so simple, yet so unrealistic sometimes. build something similar to what you have done with your wife and those cute little girls. I do believe in karma, so out of respect for myself, you, and your family, I think it's best if we keep that friendship at work. By the way, I keep the conversations we have between us. So, there's just so much to unpack here. Let's start with the last line. By the way, I keep the conversations we have between us indicates to me, let me know what you guys think, that there's something that they talked about that needs to be kept secret or confidential. Otherwise, that line wouldn't be necessary and would not be said, right? So obviously, the most important thing that is said in this email that is dated June 12th, 2018, which is the third emails of the first day of the first recorded communication between Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts. She says, second sentence in the second paragraph, build something similar to what you have done with your wife and those cute little girls. This is on June 12th. Father's Day was on June 17th in the year 2008. Ooh. So let's just bring it home. Oops. Way back in the very beginning. Oops. Oh, no. This is the stream. Hold it. We can't do that. There we go. Ta-da. No, that's not it either. Okay, so you guys just heard it. I don't want to keep trying to find this for you. So she had said to Nicole, or I'm sorry, she had said to Kevin Kovac when he first asked her about, how did, you meet Chris Watts? What was going on? She says, he told me about his family. He told me about his wife, but this is what he told me about his wife.
But we're getting separated. Okay. And
When do you think that was?
when he said all that,
So specifically when he told you he was getting separated from his wife, was that within the first couple of weeks that you knew him, or was that later on? You said you met him around May or June.
yeah, it was still in June.
Okay.
It would have been before Father's Day.
So have you guys ever gone out on any
So that's
kind
all
of,
that we need to
date
know.
at
When would it have been that Chris Watts told you that he was getting separated with his wife? Well, it would have still been in June. It was before Father's Day. So it was before June 17th. But we have these emails from June 12th stating that Nicole Kessinger wants to build something beautiful, much like what Chris Watts has with his wife and those two adorable little girls. So, this is a span of 5 days. It's completely not plausible. Lies, 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 lies. So, based on, comparing these two bits of information here, we can safely conclude that she is absolutely positively being dishonest, lying, totally deceptive about the fact that she believed that Chris Watts was getting separated from his wife from the beginning of their relationship. So then that leads us to a couple of questions. When did she find that out, if ever? And why is it so important for her to make this point to Kevin Kovac within the first 8 minutes of this interview, right? So just to wrap up this email communication chain between Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts from June 12th of 2018. I think it's it is. He says in response, Nikki, yes, a beautiful life is something that is hard to find in this world since people always seem to have an agenda for everything. I do believe in karma, so I agree with that as well. I hope they're both enjoying their karma. Any conversations we have will stay between us. No need to worry there. My work number is blah, 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 blah. If you need to get a hold of me in the field, Sometimes email can be tricky with my spotty service out here. I have an early morning meeting and then I am doing LOTO for a construction crew on various sites all day. So if you don't see me tomorrow, I hope you have an amazing day. So, I mean, obviously, this whole email is bullshit now that we know the material that Chris Watts is truly made out of. But I think the most material line in this email is the third sentence. Any conversations we have will stay between us. No need to worry there. So this echoes Nicole Kessinger saying in the previous email, by the way, I keep all conversations we have between us, which we said indicates that they're talking about something where there is a need for secrecy. Now, what Chris Watts says really takes it a step further. And trust me, there's a point to pointing all these details out, guys. He says, any conversations we have will stay between us. No need to worry there. So now what they are saying when you read between the lines and apply logic is what they are talking about between the two of them. It's necessary that is kept secret, so much so that Chris Watts feels he needs to assure her that he will keep it secret and there's no need for her to worry. So, I mean, seriously, guys, we all know what was going on here, but the point of comparing, this Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts reported timeline to what was going on with Shannan Watts, what she was putting out there, and a few more details is these lies are proven, validated, supported, and there is evidence to show that something fishy was going on. And in my opinion, and I think that we make a very strong claim for this, that something criminal was going on. Now, I want to go back to, and hello to everybody who just came into chat. Welcome. It's so nice to see you. Thank you so much, DTC Prime Time. You said to Kevin for appropriately using the 90s grade. What is that? I need to know. Oh my goodness. There's so many good questions here. Okay. So Hooptastic says, so what do you think they talked about? At first, I thought maybe that his marriage wasn't great, but she says she wants what they had. Yes, that's a very good point, and I'm going to follow up on your question, Hooptastic, here in just a minute, okay? Amy Walker, thank you so much for becoming a member. I hope you can make the members only live stream, which will be 8 o'clock on Sunday evening. I'm going to have to reschedule that since you know what happened. Hi, John McSmith. How are you? Let me see if I can find that other comment I wanted to address. Okay. Oh, this is a good question I can answer for you. So, welcome, Dawn. How are you doing? Dawn asks, what time did Chris find out her plane was delayed, and how soon after did he call NK? So this is a really easy one to figure out. So the question that Dawn is asking is, when did Chris Watts find out that Shannan Watts' plane was delayed? When she was returning to home to Denver from her trip to Arizona on the evening of August 12th, and this really ended up going into the wee early morning hours of August 13th because Dawn correctly states her plane was delayed. So this is really easy to find out by consulting the Discovery timeline. So I'm just getting to that point right now, and then I'll share it with you. And this is a very important point too, Dawn. I'm glad you brought this up. Just scrolling down so I don't miss it. August 6th. If you have questions, I know that it's normally not proper decorum to put your questions in or to use all caps in a chat, but it does help me to see the question. So I really don't mind that, just for the purposes of questions. All right, so here we are. Now, something that is notable as I'm scrolling down through the official Discovery timeline, I'm noticing a a point that I've made before. I just want to make this point for those of you that, aren't always in chat or don't always watch this channel and perhaps had not heard it before. So the communications that happened between Chris Watts and Nicole Kessinger were all over the Discovery and made up a really large part of the Discovery contents since the timeline and the contents of the Discovery was recorded. And then all of a sudden, guys, on August 12th, the day before the murders, there is literally, very literally, guys, no mention of the communication between Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts. Even though we know it was there, there's actually record of their communication, of their text messages earlier on in the Discovery documents. And guys, we also know that the 111-minute conversation that occurred between Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts happened on August 12th. It was by far the longest conversation that they had by a long shot. I've made a few videos about this. I can refer them to you if you want to watch them. People that are with me all the time are probably sick of hearing about it, but that phone call was way out of pattern. And, interestingly, neither Chris Watts or Nicole Kessinger can remember a single detail about that conversation, and the way in which each of them answers questions about that conversation is extremely awkward, vague, and they use a lot of the same language, which is really weird. So, okay, so this is now to answer Dawn's question. Let's see. 1954 hours. So here we are. We're on that date, August 12th, Sunday, August 12th. This is how, yeah. Okay. Oh, poor Shannan. It's just so sad. When she's on her way home, she's saying, what kind of vegetables do you want for dinner tomorrow? And he, she's going to go to Costco to get him the veggies he wants. Oh, just so sad to me. Okay. Okay, so here we go. All right, so to answer your question, okay, good. It is showing for you guys. Let me just enlarge this so you have a shot at reading. I'll read it to you. I know it's hard for you guys to read this, but I will enlarge it the best I can. Okay, so here we have at 21:44 hours. So that is what? 9:44 p.m. Okay. Shannan told Watts, tried calling you to give you update. Was starting to board, and they announced that our crew isn't here yet, and it's going to be a minimum of an hour before they are here. Okay, so Dawn and everyone else, this is at 9:44 p.m. So then finally, not till 11:21 p.m., 11:21, Watts finally replied, holy crap, sorry, I passed out on the couch. That's going to be late. Now, that's a total lie, of course, and we know that because what was really going on when Shannan sent that message to Chris Watts was that he was in the middle of the 111-minute phone conversation with Kessinger. Just give me a moment here. So we are going to have that members only live stream on Sunday evening at 8. I'm putting the link for membership in the chat right now. It's $2.99 a month if anyone, and I explained that earlier. I'll explain it again. I just want to keep moving along with this for people that have things to do and are watching on replay. Let's see here. So let me just find really quick the record of the 111-minute phone conversation. So see, this is another matter on which, like, when you compare the timelines, you're just like, damn, it really paints a picture. And the picture is like, damn, I mean, I feel so bad for Shannan, and it's so clear that, in my opinion, what happened was planned. And in my opinion, the two of them together were up to something completely nefarious. All right. So here we have the little, whoops. All right. So what we're looking at right here is taken from, it is a video that I created. It's the part 1 of the Nicole Kessinger documentary. I'm putting the link in chat right now. I told people during the last live stream that we cover issues like the 111-minute phone call, that whole timeline of Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts from Sunday going into Monday, the day before the murders and the day of the murders themselves. And I do believe I have very accurate information about the cell phone ping, Nicole Kessinger's cell phone ping that happened the morning of the murders, August 13th at 6:16 a.m. when she had only pinged there before a total of 3 times that were all accounted for. And certainly it was just way out of pattern. Because I had worked in that industry before, I was able to get my hands on the map of cellular antennas and transmissions, and specifically for Verizon, that served the kind of Verizon service that she had in the year 2018. So it is very accurate information. But let's just look at this. Whoops. All right, let me blow that up. Okay, so here, let's see if I can make this a little bigger for you. Maybe not. Let's see. I guess not. So anyway, here we have the 111-minute phone conversation. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I will tell you that it started at 9:28 p.m. and this is on Sunday, August 12th, the evening before the murders. And it ended at 11:19 p.m. again, Sunday, August 12th, the evening before the murders. So the call, that 111-minute phone call, started at, I thought I had the date range somewhere in there, started at 9:28 p.m. and it ended at 11:19 p.m. August 12th, the evening before the murders. So here's another one of these issues, guys, where when we compare the information and the reported timelines from the so-called various sides of the case, we find something very interesting. So Dawn asked the question, when did Chris Watts find out that Shannan's plane was delayed? Well, that was at, according to the discovery, she sent the message at 9:44 p.m. Shannan says, tried calling you to give you update, was starting to board, and they announced that our crew isn't here yet, and it's going to be a minimum of an hour before they are here. Well, Watts was already into his 111-minute phone call with Kessinger. Now, here's something interesting. They got off the phone at 11:19 p.m. Oh, yeah, no, this makes perfect sense. And then he responds to Shannan 2 minutes later at 11:21. Holy crap, sorry, I passed out on the couch. Lie, that's going to be late. Because he was on the phone with Kessinger that whole time. Crazy, interesting stuff, I think it is. So let's see. So, all right. I kind of went off track just a wee little bit. I will steer us back on, I promise. She said, some good questions here. I think I'm going to answer them all, so I'm not going to pin all of them. Oh, Hooptastic asked a great question relevant to the emails that I just read from June 12th, 2018, and asks, so do you think that these emails were sent just to make it look like they just met? I don't know, guys. I personally am on the fence about that. I kind of go back and forth. Do any of you have anything to say about that? Does anyone have a strong opinion about this question? Do you think that they basically stage these emails to make it look like they just met? And again, the date of the emails was June 12th, 2018. Dun-dun-dun. Let's see. I'll just wait for a minute to see if anybody there in chat has anything that they would like to say about that. Whoops. Is this the right one? Yes. So okay. Oh my gosh. And Dawn asked another question about the two phones, and we just found more information about that, Dawn. I'll be getting to it. So Sarah says, yes, I believe so. They were so rehearsed. Oh. John McSmith says CW is not clever enough to stage anything right. I don't know, John McSmith. I don't know if we say that. I think that he could have, I think he could have pulled off some kind of basic like entry level staging. Oh. So we talked to Sandy and hi, and welcome to the chat, Sandy, and also Country Sunshine Gal. Welcome to you as well. We talked about this during the last live stream. The opinion was, and it made a lot of people sad, that Chris Watts totally ignored the sweet little baby dog Dieter. While Shannan and the girls were in North Carolina for 6 weeks, we don't think that he took Dieter over to NK's house. We don't think that they took Dieter on their little outings, but the upside of that for all of you who, love animals the way I and so many of us do, is that Dieter had a really wonderful life. He went to live with Frankie Rusick, Shanann's brother, and he's posted many pictures and stories about Dieter, and he looks like a very happy little wiener dog. So, yeah, that is too bad, isn't it? Yeah. Sarah, I think this is really great. Sarah says, kind of like a movie or theater performance, like planned writing. I think that is very, very much what I hear in that, Sarah. I think that you could be right on about that. So Keschik says, Chris Watts had high IQ. I think he made out he was loving and kind. Are you being sarcastic or do you really think that? I can't tell you because I don't think his IQ is as high as he reported. What did he say? Something like 135, 140. Or did he say 140, 145? There's a big difference there because that's going in the extraordinarily high percentile of IQs to genius or to genius and a little bit above. I really don't think he was there personally. I mean, what do I do actually administer IQ tests in the work that I do. I haven't in the past year and a half or so, but for a while I was doing, especially when I was doing some of my field work. But that doesn't mean I don't know. He doesn't, to me, does he seem like someone who has a genius IQ to you or just super close to genius, guys? Thank you, V Marshy One, for becoming a member. Thank you so much. I hope you can make the members only live stream on Sunday evening, this Sunday at 8. That would be awesome. I was serious, but I thought it was higher. Well, oh my gosh, Desiree, holy cow. This is such a treat. I haven't seen you in live chat in so long. Hello, sweetheart. It's wonderful to see you. So happy you were able to make it. That's awesome, Des. Whenever I see your comments, I stop whatever I'm doing and I reply. It's great to see you. I think he either says 145, he says 130 to 140, or he says 140 to 145. So here, let me show you. I just got to put my mic down for a second. I'll use the IQ scale that I use in my work. Or actually, maybe I'll just use the one that's the easiest to Google so I don't have to download something. All right. Yeah, that works. This is accurate. Let me just make sure it's accurate before I put it up. Oh, this is correct. Let's see. Oh, okay, 160 is no. This is not the scale that I hear. I want to use the scale that I use at work. So I know that it's evidence based. I can just find it really quick. Alrighty. Gosh, they're really being stingy about giving these details here. So here, I'll just share this, and it is what it is. So I just saw a chart where it said 160 was genius, but the chart that I've been using, that's an evidence-based chart, and it is for students. So I don't know. I'm rethinking this now. It's 145, but let me just share this with you really quickly. This is just something I Googled. It's nothing fancy. So we see that 100 or 90 to 110 is average intelligence. So when you're right at the 100 mark, that's the 50th percentile. That's how they calibrate the scale. I mean, so 111 to 120 is above average. 121 to 130 is gifted, and that's 6.4% of the population. And above 130 is very gifted. That's only 2.1% of the population. Every point you go up above 130, that percentile of the population decreases significantly. I just don't know. I just don't think he was there, but I guess we will never know for sure unless somebody actually releases his authentic results, which I don't think would ever happen. Yeah. So John McSmith, this is what I'm thinking, John. John says, no way, Kelly, you're correct. 120 maybe. That's, I mean, just from being someone who does administer IQ tests and, you know, you get some anecdotal, I don't know, kind of feel for it. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But that's my sense, you know? So awesome. Yeah. I'm glad you've been watching, darling. It's great to see you. Oh, welcome, Lee. See, hi, everyone. I'm new to the group. Welcome. I'm so glad you can make it. What do you think about Chris Watts having an IQ Lee of possibly 140 or 145? Do you think that's realistic? 100 is average. You have to be above 130. I'm sure you are, Trivia King. Does everyone know their IQ score? I know what mine is. I'm not going to say it, but I mean, I just feels like something I don't want to disclose, but I do know what mine is. And I do think I'm smarter than Chris Watts. All right. So it's about, that's right. So DTC Prime Time is so damn smart. Oh, where'd you go, girlfriend? I love this girl. It's a bell curve. It's a parabolic chart, y'all. So that means, you know, the most people are centered right around the average. And as you get off to those outliers, those tail ends of the bell curve, as they go out really low or really high, there's like far less and less people. I don't want to say exponentially per whatever, because that wouldn't be accurate, but I don't know. Okay, so you have any clue? Yours is above 130. Oh, well, thanks, Desiree. I knew I loved you. Desiree says, Kelly, yes, you're definitely smarter than Chris Watts. Thank you. I like to be reaffirmed of these kinds of things. Oh, hi, Liz. How are you? Welcome. Liz says, in his presentation on marriage relationships, he wasn't very competent at reading his own script. Excellent point, Liz. There was never any video I saw of him that made me think he had an IIQ. I love that you pointed to some actual evidence there, and I think you're totally right about that. So awesome. Okay. So, all right. So I'm going to swing back to the reported topic at hand, which was having to do with what Nicole Kessinger reported that she knew about Chris Watts' relationship and marriage with Shannan Watts, and also what she knew about the children and how she felt about the children. Let's see. I just clicked on something that might take a moment here. So what we've established so far is that, you know, right off the bat, Nicole Kessinger, within the first 8 minutes of her August 16th interview with Kevin Kobach, which is the one that is in the police station that was, for which the video was just very recently released. she makes a point of saying, oh, well, yeah, he told me that he was getting separated. Kobach, one of the few times, presses her for details. She says, oh, yeah, it was definitely still in June. It was before Father's Day, which in 2018 was on the 17th. But then we have the emails between Kessinger and Watts, where Kessinger is saying, I want a family. I want this beautiful life just like yours, a family just like yours, just what you created with your wife and your adorable children. So that makes absolutely no sense. All right, so let me just get this open and pull this into the stream. Woo! Here we go. Now, when I start playing this, guys, I'm going to need to know if you have audio. So just give me some feedback. And what we're going to be listening to here, essentially, are excerpts, outtakes of Nicole Kessinger's interviews with Kevin Kobach when she talks about why she destroyed evidence, why she deleted the text messages, broke her SIM card, deleted every little bit of communication between herself and Chris Watts, what she knew about Shannan's pregnancy, when she found out, and what she knew about their state of the marriage, and when she may have learned these details. Okay. So I'm going to start playing this that I pulled into the feed in just a moment. Please let me know if you guys have audio. If you don't, I'm going to have to come up with something else real quick. Do you have audio? I think she was too, DTC. No audio? Crap. You don't hear the music? Damn it. All right. Sorry. All right. All right. All right. Just give me a minute here. So, yeah, I do think that I think that Nicole Kessinger was intellectually is a very bright woman. I do think that. I think that emotionally, and in some other ways, maturity wise, I don't see that she's as evolved as she is intellectually. And I'm not trying to be like a jerk here. I'm not trying to be like snarky or anything. And I could be wrong, but that is just what I see. And I do know when you're talking about a person's constitution or their makeup, like intellectually, emotionally, behaviorally, from a psychological perspective, those divides and your level of maturity in those different areas can cause, first of all, a lot of stress within a person, but it also can cause, or it can also be at the root of a personality disorder, which I've disclosed to you before. I believe it seems like Nicole Kessinger is bipolar, anywhere from that to borderline personality. I could totally be wrong. It's just my opinion, and that seems to be the case to me. What do you guys think? Okay, just give me one more. Whoop. Oh, it is. Okay, so shut that. No. Oh, technology. I love you. Oh, there we go. Singing again. Oh my gosh. Okay, I am so sorry. I just don't even know. I'm telling you, it's covering this case. So, okay. So, let me just start to play as promised some of those video excerpts when Nicole Kessinger is talking to Kevin Kovac about Shannan being pregnant, something with the relationship, something with the kids, all of these various issues. And then we're going to take a look at what was really going on. And let me give you a little hint. It wasn't what she was saying. Kelly searches equals answers, or someone want to pop. Kelly searches equals answers is a YouTube creator, and she has a channel, and I like her channel. If you want to pop it in chat, that would be awesome. Welcome, Kel. How you doing? Kel, sorry I haven't really gotten back to you. I was just saying I don't think you were in here. My week was but insane with work. Crazy. It's all good though. All right. Interview. This one. Nope, not that one. This one. Nope, not that one either. Yes, that one. Okay. All right. So turn this up. Luckily, I know exactly where we need to go here. Okay. Right about there.
They're just
So just tell me what you're.
they're just kind of raunchy. Like
Okay,
I
well,
don't need anybody.
Everybody's
I
an
don't need
adult.
that posted like
We're not going to post
somewhere.
it.
I don't need. I
the
don't want
only
the
ones that-
newspapers to get that. That's all I want.
The
I just
only
need
ones
them
that
to
we would
not
be
get
looking
that.
for, again, is the same kind of questions we're getting to here, is things about his children, things about his wife, the questioning of, did he ever, has he ever said something to you that might
Thank you,
indicate,
Kevin.
maybe
Welcome.
not then, but now that there was something like this in his mind, or you know what we're looking for. I don't need to come out and tell you that. I understand the embarrassment of particular photos or potential sexual types of conversations you may have had with Chris. It's not relative to the investigation. We don't care. Okay, you're an adult. I'm an adult. Everybody in this room, even your dad, and I give it to you for saying that stuff in front of your dad because I'm not sure many women could do that. So that's not what we're after. We're after the information that corroborates things that you've told us, and also that corroborates or may tend to prove that things that Chris told us were a lie. You understand that? And that's maybe going a little bit far. I usually won't tell people that, but because of your reservations, that's what I'm looking for. If I can disprove something he's told me by a phone records don't lie. People do. Okay. So if I can disprove something that may be important, that's what I need it for. I'm not saying I can. Has it happened before? Absolutely. Is it critical in cases that I've worked in the past? Yes. So that's why I want it. Okay. Again, you don't have to give it to me. You can tell me, I don't want you to have it. Go get a warrant. I'm not even going to tell you if I go get a warrant, try to get a warrant right now. I'm just asking for you to consent. And again, we can write right here what you're willing to give me, which is the text messages and the phone log. And unfortunately, again, the attachments on some of those text messages. And I'll write it on there, and then you'll just sign it. Okay. Do you understand the questions there? Do you have questions about any of the things that it says? You understand you don't have to do this. You're doing it of your own free will. And I know you're tired, so if you want to let your dad read it too,
He will.
Thank
you.
that's a good idea.
Can you fill it out before I sign it?
Yep. And just you read it, and if you have any questions, then we'll put on there what we're after.
I'm so hungry.
You should have told me. I would have got you some food. I got food in my car.
It's not staying down. It's just coming.
She hadn't been
back up.
feeling good, not because of any, just
Like I got sick prior to this
Jim.
whole thing happening, and then I think all of this compounding with the
Stress.
fact that I'm sick, it's just not good. I've not really been eating or sleeping much at all.
yeah. I'm with you. We definitely need to accelerate the case because the more it takes, the less sure that they are of situations. But on the other end, I think if you do just that only,
You tell me what you're willing to provide
is
to
that,
me, and we'll
is that
write it
good
in.
enough?
I just want like our text conversation and then I guess our phone call records.
So I'm going to put
So the time and date of the phone call records and then our text message.
Could we
text.
get photos of him?
Huh?
Could we get photos of him?
Off of
Would you
that.
mind if we got his photos that he sent to you?
Well, there'll be in that text message thing.
So all his photos were sent. There was no
Okay, so
apps
here
or
we
anything
go.
else
This
you
is
used
what
that
we
you
wanted
guys
to
were
know.
sending out. It was
No.
all just text messages.
Yeah,
So it'd be an attachment to a text that he sent you.
pretty much.
But
Everything is in the text and the phone call records.
so
Like all of it.
because we don't have it on tape, we discussed prior to turning the tape on Tuesday, which would have been the 14th of August. You had read some newspaper articles on the 13th and the 14th that regarded this case. You had also had a conversation with Chris at some point during the day on Monday. And on Tuesday, because of what you found, specifically what you said was, and don't let me put words in your mouth, but you found out that his wife was pregnant.
And yes.
And you did not know that prior. And you found that out via the newspaper articles, and that caused you concern.
Well, I just realized that he was lying to me, and I was like, well, if you can lie to me about this, what else are you lying to me about? And it made me realize that maybe his wife was in danger at that point, and it was day 2 too, and she still wasn't home.
What did that cause you to do with your phone, though?
Oh, what? When I deleted those? I was just kind of grossed out by him, to be honest with you. I was just like, I don't know what's going on right now, but you just lied to me, and I don't want to see this come over my phone anymore. So I removed it.
So you already said, but you removed text messages.
I deleted all of his stuff because he lied to me. I mean, that's what it was. It was the hurt that made me delete it. And then it was the lie that made me start questioning everything else he'd been telling me for the last few days.
And that's when you decided to come forward.
Yes.
Okay. So just for context,
Yes.
when people delete stuff off phones, usually we go,
No,
hold on a
no,
second.
no. It
And
wasn't
that's why I
malicious
wanted-
at
right.
all. It
Yeah, no, I'm
wasn't
not saying it's
malicious at
malicious,
all. He lied to me. It just hurt. Like I had never felt like he'd ever lied to me before. And it was a big lie. I mean,
Right.
telling somebody that you're in the midst of a divorce and then you have a wife that has a 15-week-old baby on the way is a huge, huge thing. And I was very taken back and it was hurt. And so at that point, I like deleted it. I had a few more quick things to say to him and then I just got rid of him. That's literally what I did. I just cut him out of my life. It would have honestly been like a bad breakup kind of thing. Like if none of this other stuff would have happened, that's what it would have been. That would have been the end of it.
the information was not destroyed because there was anything in there that would be harmful to you or potentially to Chris at this point, but harmful to you in particular. That's not what you did.
No,
You did it out of, excuse my language, this guy's an asshole, so I'm getting rid of him and I'm getting this stuff off my phone.
That was like me kicking him out of my life.
Okay.
And then, like I said, and then realizing that he lied, that was when I was like, okay, maybe his family is in danger and they're not coming back and they're not staying with a friend.
Yeah, when did I go over there? Tuesday morning?
Wednesday morning.
Wednesday.
I called you Wednesday morning.
I feel like Dad screwed up there. He's like, when did I go over there? Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning. I called you Wednesday morning. Do you guys get the feeling Dad screwed up there? Because I just feel like maybe Dad screwed up there. So great comments, guys. I just, I certainly agree with many of them personally myself. So DTC primetime. Whoops. Let's see here. Let me just check on this. Did this upload yet? Okay, so DTC primetime asks a question or makes a statement, and I want to pick up on this. So she says, removed, the way she says it, I like it because he lied to me about Shannan being pregnant, which she knew since July 14th. We are just about to get there. SIM cards are just so fragile, Sarah. Yeah. Aren't they supposed to be like impossible to break? I think. I mean, I might be wrong about that. That's just the understanding I've always had. I see that you're being ironic with the winky face. And welcome, Sarah. How you doing? So, all right. So the next time, so Kevin Kovac, guys, is obviously not satisfied with her answers to this question because not only in this interview, but in successive interviews to come, he does keep pressing her on this issue. So a little bit later in this issue, let's take a listen. He wants to return to this.
He lied to me because if I'd have known that he had a child on the way,
And that's
but it was
we're trying
pretty
to
much just like,
get you to remember some
yeah,
things.
like, but he said it wasn't just him though. He was like, I think she does.
Let me go back a little bit because she characterizes the whole
Like,
relationship.
doesn't acknowledge him, and he said that he'd addressed it with her a few times, and they're calm. He said they don't really like.
She knows
fight.
an
Like,
awful
they don't
lot about that
scream and
relationship,
yell.
doesn't she?
And he said he'd addressed it with her a few times, and he said it just fell on deaf ears. He's like, she just seems like she's not interested anymore, and I think it made him sad because, I mean, he was like all about his kids, and he seemed like he was trying to be all about her, but it just wasn't reciprocated. And I think at that point he was just like, they just kind of like fell apart.
Okay.
Just kind of drifted apart.
Was that your words or his?
What the
Fell
thing?
apart.
Those are mine.
Okay.
Those are mine. He just said that they didn't communicate very well, and it wasn't in a aggressive way. Communicate. It was just the fact that they didn't like communicate at all.
They
didn't talk.
Yeah, they had
I love her
children
hand
and
gestures and whatnot. Hold on, let me just
was
go back a couple seconds. At all. Hold it. Okay.
About her, but it just wasn't reciprocated. And I think at that point he was just like, they just kind of like fell apart.
Okay.
Just kind of drifted apart.
Was that your words or his?
What the
Fell
thing?
apart.
Those are mine.
Okay.
Those are mine. He just said that they didn't communicate very well, and it wasn't in a aggressive way. Communicate. It was just the fact that they didn't like communicate at all.
They
didn't talk.
Yeah, they had children, and was there ever mention that he was trying to resolve or save his marriage?
Sarah, that is a very astute observation. We've been talking about this in some of the live streams lately because this is some of what I personally have some of my training in. Do you have training in this area, or are you just able to tell that intuitively? Because I think either way could definitely work. But what you said exactly right there is precisely how I've evaluated her her speech and truthfulness patterns.
For the children's sake. Yeah, a lot of people talk about that. Did he talk about that?
I mean, he told me that he believed that the only reason that those two had still been doing it as long as they've been doing it. He told me that her and him have had communication issues for about 6 years, where she just seems really like detached and uninterested in like trying to like build something with him. And he said, and I said, 6 years is a really long time for you guys to not fix that, considering they were married for what, 8? I mean, that's like the majority of their marriage. And he said, sometimes I think we just do it for the kids or something like that. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen these conversations, so I don't know like verbatim, but it was pretty much just like
get you to remember some things.
Like, but he said it wasn't just him though. He was like, I think she does that too.
Okay.
You know, I mean, and it was like this equal part where they are just kind of like going through the motions, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I mean, this is just, I mean, what you guys are saying in chat is very spot on. I think a lot of what she is saying is absolute crap. So, Green Eye says here, the red face gets me every time. Why? There's a certain portion of this interview where the face she makes and the way she looks up at the camera, I just picked it up when I was, putting together some videos, I think last night. It's really crazy. So, Yeah. So here, I'm going to bring a different video into stream because the one I was trying to upload earlier, I swear I have no problem uploading videos ever, guys, until I'm doing it for live streams. And I swear it's the same thing that was ringing my doorbell when I started working on this case. It's just not explainable and it's weird. So let's see. Yeah. Okay, so those interview excerpts that we listened to in this video that I'm going to be playing, I'm not going to make you listen to them again. But what I did do was I had zoomed in, I had enlarged Kessinger so we could actually see, what it was she was doing with her hands and all of that. Let's see where this is here.
This week, you guys were to go look at some apartments, and this is hypothetical.
Okay, here we go. We haven't listened to this part yet. Perfect.
Person, or oh, I'm this horrible person. It was
You are a horrible person. Sorry.
going through the motions, I think.
Okay, I think that's where he left off, right?
Like when he told me that she
Let me go back just a couple seconds. All right, here we go.
with him. And he said, and I said, 6 years is a really long time for you guys to not fix that, considering they were married for what, 8? I mean,
I think so too, Nelda.
of their marriage. And he said, sometimes I think we just do it for the kids or something like that. I mean, it's been a long time since I've
Sure.
seen these conversations, so I don't know like
And
verbatim,
that's
but it was
we're trying
pretty
to
much just like,
get you to remember some
yeah,
things.
like, but he said it wasn't just him though. He was like, I think
Ah.
she does that too.
Thanks, John.
You know? I mean, and it was like this equal part.
John
where
presses
they were
one.
just kind of like going through the motions, I think.
Thanks, guys.
And so, like, when he told me that she was cool with like the 50% everything and just like breaking it off and being really civil about it, it kind of made sense to me because I was like, the way he made this sound, it wasn't, oh, she's this horrible person or, oh, I'm this horrible person. It was, her and I have drifted so far apart that it's kind of a mutual agreement that this is not going to work.
So in those 6 years, though, they had 2 children.
Yep.
And you said earlier you did not know she was pregnant until reading the newspaper.
Yep.
So that never came up in any conversation. There was no indications that was going on.
None.
He never hinted to anything like
Nothing.
that. As far as you knew, he was just leaving her. He had 2 children, and that was the final take on that.
Yes. I know why he lied to me. He lied to me because if I'd have known that he had a child on the way, I'd have never wasted my time with him in the first place. Like, none of this would ever even occur if he would have just told me the truth.
So do you think if he found out that you, if, let's say this week you guys were to go look at some apartments, and this is hypothetical, but you've never found out that his wife was pregnant, would that have changed anything? Like you just said, if
Turning
I knew
red.
his wife was pregnant, I wouldn't be in this picture. So if his wife was not pregnant, and forgive me, but if he takes her out of the picture, you're never going to know that she was pregnant, right?
What do you mean takes her out of the picture? Like,
If he murdered her, she's out of the picture. You're never going to know if she was pregnant. If he can get away with murder, you're not going to. I got divorced from my wife. You say, do you understand what I'm saying?
Only time in all these interviews, she's truly portrayed herself as being like, duh, dumb.
Here, if she's gone,
but this,
Don't lead,
hypothetically,
please. Don't lead on.
hypothetically, if she,
Okay.
you understand where I'm going. If
Right,
you
but you're-
didn't know,
You're leading into
Right.
questions that are nothing with your,
if you didn't know though
wait, Nick,
that she was there,
did you hear what I said?
I'm following you. I just want her to answer a question that relates to, she said something that's important, that if he didn't have a child on the way, or if she didn't know that, she would have continued the relationship, right?
but he killed his kids. At what point does he think that I'm going to be in a
I'm
relationship?
not talking about the children. I'm just talking specifically about her. If you only knew, if the kids were still here and he called you and said, I'm divorced from my wife, and he gets away with this, do you understand what I'm thinking from his aspect?
I still wouldn't do it. I still wouldn't do it because I'd be like, where did she go?
Okay.
Because I'm under the impression that she's a really good mom. Like, he never bashed her momming skills. Like, no, I wouldn't, no.
Okay.
No.
And that's that. You see where I'm trying to take that?
Yes.
So you guys never had a conversation about the child, period.
I didn't know
Okay.
at all.
And by your words, if you did know, you would have ended the relationship.
Well, because it wouldn't have made sense to me that he's like, I'm getting separated. Oh, by the way, I have a baby on the way. It's like,
That's 15 weeks.
you are a liar. You're just trying to sleep with me. That's what I would have probably interpreted that as. And I'd have just shut that off at work, and that would have been the end of it.
All right.
Is there any text
hold
messages
it.
between?
Hold it. So that's the next part. Hold it. I just have to show you something here. So, the question, and I've noted some of your questions. I'm going to get back to them. Thank you for putting them in caps. I appreciate that so I can see them. So again, if you have a question, please put them in caps. I know that's not always like a polite thing when you're in chat, but it's like the only way sometimes I can see them. So the question always arises, and this is a little bit off topic, but it's definitely a pertinent question, is, so what is up with her father being able to talk to an FBI agent in this manner? Since when is a person, not even the person who's being interviewed, able to kind of like just stop the show, interject like that, and talk to an FBI agent who's conducting an interview in that manner?
And he called you and said, I'm divorced from my wife.
And that she's a really,
Take that.
yes,
So you did know, you would.
sleep with me. It's about him.
Okay, wait, well, I gotta go back a little farther. Sorry, guys.
Relationship, right?
But he killed his kids. At what point does he think that I'm going to be in a relationship?
I'm not talking about the children. I'm just talking specifically about her. If you only knew, if the kids were still
Do
here.
you see her look up at the camera there?
If you only knew,
Right
if
there.
the kids were still here and he called you and said, I'm divorced from my wife, and he gets away with this, do you understand what I'm thinking from his aspect?
I still wouldn't do it. I still wouldn't do it because I'd be like, where did she go?
Okay.
Because I'm under the impression that she's a really good mom. Like, he never bashed her momming skills. Like, no, I wouldn't, no.
Okay.
No.
And that's that. You see where I'm trying to take that?
Yes.
So you guys never had a conversation about the child, period.
I didn't know
Okay.
at all.
And by your words, if you did know, you would have ended the relationship.
Well, because it wouldn't have made sense to me that he's like, I'm getting separated. Oh, by the way, I have a baby on the way. It's like,
That's 15 weeks.
you are a liar. You're just trying to sleep with
You're not going to, I got divorced from my wife. You say, do you understand what I'm
Sorry,
saying?
go back.
here? If she's gone,
But this,
Don't lead,
hypothetically,
please. Don't lead on.
hypothetically, if she,
Okay.
you understand where I'm going. If
Right,
you
but you're-
didn't know,
You're leading into
Right.
questions that are nothing with your,
if you didn't know though,
wait, Nick,
that she was there,
did you hear what I said?
I'm following you. I just want her to answer a question that relates to, she said something that's important, that if he didn't have a child on the way, or if she didn't.
So we know that only her father can stop this woman from talking. So Anaphylaxis, who is former law enforcement, said, and I hope it's okay I'm saying this, Anaphylaxis says, I would not stand for that interference if I was doing an interview. Anyone that I talked to who is law enforcement or former law enforcement says the exact same thing. So the reason I replayed that, guys, is I think that the reason that her father is able to interject in the interview and to change the course of the interview in the manner that he does has to do with this. Now, I talked about this during the last live stream, and I just want to explain a little bit about this. So this part of the collection of evidence, and it says unclassified here very clearly. I'm not saying this is classified evidence, but I don't know if anybody in chat knows anything about this. So this information was recorded. If you were to look up in this, in the left-hand corner, it's the left-hand corner. It says FD-1087 in parentheses, revisions 5810. So this is a form that was not used otherwise in this whole 1960 page discovery. So I just happened to notice that really weird little detail. So when I looked up information about this form, I wasn't able to find too much information about it on its face, but what I was able to find was information that was also recorded on this form, the FD 1087 form that the FBI uses. And all of that I found was information that was highly sensitive or that was at one point classified. Now, this is not really solid supporting evidence saying that it means anything in particular, but that is what I found. I don't want to stray away from this page on the discovery, but I'll show you the other forms that were used to collect information in almost every other instance. There's 2 of them. So on this form, it clearly states, make sure you guys can see it. Excuse me. See if I'll make it a little bigger. So it says recorded interview under details here. It says recorded interview of Nicole Kessinger, protect identity in all capital letters on August 15th, 2018. So that was when they were recording information about her first interview, which, by the way, guys, I cleaned up the audio on over the past few weeks. Would you be interested in listening to it sometime during a live stream? The audio is still very rough, but I think I've gotten it just about as clean and audible as I've heard any for sure. So does anyone know anything about this little detail here under details? Recorded interview of Nicole Kessinger, protect identity on August 15th, 2018. Now, I scoured through this discovery, and certainly nowhere else in this discovery was it noted that a witnesses, as she likes to remind him that she is referred to time and time again, no one else has this note about themselves that their identity will, should, or must be protected. Let's see. Yeah, I know. Aaron on the side of caution says, who's her dad to say anything? I just don't get it, but it's maddening. I know. Let's see. Just want to see if any of you guys had anything to say about that form or the protected identity situation. Does it say surveillance? It does mention in the discovery that she was under surveillance. Here on this form, it does not say surveillance, but she was definitely under surveillance. That is mentioned. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it does. Good gosh. Thank you, Jennifer. Dang, girl. Okay. Sometimes I get my Watty facts mixed up. Okay, so here we go. Jennifer, you're awesome. Okay, so here it says item type 1D. So I haven't looked into actually what that means yet. I'm sure that we can find out something about that. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And that says description. U, I believe the U means unclassified. Recorded interview of Nicole Kessinger collected on 8/15/2018, 5:36 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, collected by Jones Philip R. Something else, evidence type, non-custodial interview, media type, digital disc, original type, original. Then surveillance starts and surveillance ends. There is more mention of the surveillance done on herself in her apartment in the discovery, and I can certainly follow up with that. I'm just not prepared with that right now. I didn't realize it said it right there. I didn't remember. Does anyone know what to make about that? Because I do not. Yes, Melody, I saw that. Whoops, holy cow. Wait a minute. My mouse is going crazy. What is up with this? I swear there's like, I don't know, whatever. Okay. So Melody says, she knows in that interview that Shannan and the girls are dead. Okay, so this is on August 16th. So yes, at that point, Shannan had been recovered the night before, correct? Just after midnight. Let's see. I want to make sure this is, yeah, Shannan had been recovered. Yeah. Just after midnight, the 15th going into the 16th. Sorry, I just have to check myself. I don't want to be putting incorrect information out to you guys. Okay, yeah. So, okay, yep, right here. So, yeah, let me just show you in the discovery. So there's no question. So that's page 550. Let me just cross-reference it here. Ah! What are you doing? I'm sorry, I just kept a bunny that came over and nibbled on my ankle. What are you doing? That's also why, anyway, I don't want to talk about the bunnies right now. Here, I got things to do, bunny. Watch out. Okay, so you must be hungry. Hey, Cole, please come feed Sky and her babies. They're trying to eat me. Okay. Okay. So, all right. So, autopsy is not my favorite thing to talk about because I have no medical background. I don't know how to interpret these things. I'm a total layperson when it comes to this information. But it does say here that Shannan's body had been recovered the evening of August 15th, 2018 from a clandestine grave. Bella and Celeste were recovered Thursday, August 16th inside separate crude oil tanks and batteries. God rest their precious little souls. So I guess Melody, so it does, I for that reason, I haven't questioned, why she knew that. Does that make sense? Right. Yeah. And he gave that incomplete, partial, not accurate confession on the 18th. I'm sorry, on August 15th. Yeah. So, geez. Let's see. Okay. There's so much more information. Let's see. Somebody, another couple questions I wanted to get to. Here, I'm going to find them. Let me just play a little bit more of this, and then we're going to get to what she obviously really knew and how we know that she knew it. Okay.
Is there any text messages between you and friends that reference anything that would?
This is the interview, by the way. It's the last recorded interview between Nicole Kessinger and anyone or Kevin Kobach. It's on August 23rd, 2018. It's when she went into the station to do something with her phone and she just popped squat and ended up taking a lot of Kevin Kobach's time again.
Be concerning regarding this case?
No.
Like talking about Chris, I think you've told me that you've never even really talked with
My friends about him. No, and like my friend's dad died last night, like yesterday.
I'm not worried about that.
No, I know, but she started like, oh my God, she was really drunk last night. She started like freaking out. She's like, I don't know what's going on in your life. She's like, I don't know if it pertains to this case. And she like just sent me like a screenshot of a news article of that.
And if you want to hear a lot more about Nicole Kessinger's text messages and interactions with Charlotte Nelson, please watch a replay of the last live stream from about 5 days ago. We covered that completely, and some of it's pretty wild stuff.
That case, and she was just like, she's like,
what about conversations?
I didn't mention that it had anything to do with that. She's like, I don't know if that's what it is. He works in the dark oak. She's like, I really don't give a shit. She's like, I just really need you to be here with me and my dad and this and this and this. And she was just kind of upset because I had asked her to please say no comment to the media, and it happened to be like right when her dad died. And I think she was feeling a little like, yeah, but I mean, you guys can read this. There's nothing in there of me actually saying anything about it. I just told
What's your phone number on that phone?
720. That's the same phone number that's on this one. 656-9605. So no, I mean, you guys can.
So between.
I'm sorry. I just had to say this. Green Eyes, I really noticed that too. Green Eye says she looks like a child when her dad starts talking. She kind of coils up back into herself, and he really like gets her to shut up. I think that's very interesting. I don't know exactly what to make about it, but I do think that's very noticeable.
There was a conversation that I asked you about between you and Charlotte, too.
That's the same girl.
That same girl who was freaking out.
Yeah.
So was there ever a conversation about kids with you and Charlotte? Like I can't remember the exact context, but you
I
guys
told
were
her I was
talking.
hanging out with a guy who had kids.
Okay. And what?
She has not even like
Wait, all right.
any
So
of
your
that.
conversation about him having kids, how did that go?
I mean, I don't know. I just told her.
Did you delete that, or is it still on?
No, I have no reason to delete anything else on my phone. And the
Okay.
reason I deleted all this stuff with Chris is because he was making me feel really uncomfortable, and I didn't.
By the way, she says the word delete 43 times in this interview with Kevin Kovac. I was just looking at that when I was looking at the transcript earlier this evening, which I think she's really, she's overcompensating, trying to justify why she deleted all that information because she knows she should not have done that,
Want to see it in my phone anymore.
in my opinion.
Yeah, let me scroll all the way back here. Man, the scroll talk a lot. No, she's like.
So let's just, while we're here, because we talked about this before, but we didn't talk about the specific context of what that message said regarding to children. So obviously in the situation.
Now, I just want you to know how many times Kovac keeps going back to this. I mean, he's obviously going after something. He's like a bloodhound here. Why they never followed up on it, I will never know.
That we're looking at now with the death of 2 children and all the other circumstantial stuff going around in the case, I just want to make sure there was no comments ever made by you regarding, children or dislike of children.
Okay, I'm sorry. Another thing I have to say, I've listened to this so many times. I really wish he didn't phrase a question like this. He says, I just want to make sure that there were no comments made from you about children or like not wanting children or whatever, which obviously tells her, like, I need to know this from you. Or she reads, otherwise you're going to be in trouble. I think for being a skilled and seasoned investigator at his level, anaphylaxis or someone else, maybe you can help me out, but this just seems very novice to me. I could be wrong. What do you guys think?
Or love children, either way. You know what I mean?
Here, let me just let you hear that. Let me go back a couple seconds so you can hear how he phrases that again. I think it's a big deal.
I didn't want to see it.
So notice how he phrases the question.
Yeah, let me scroll all the way back here. Man, the scroll talk a lot. No, she's like.
So let's just, while we're here, because we talked about this before, but we didn't talk about the specific context of what that message said regarding to children. So obviously in the situation that we're looking at now with the death of 2 children and all the other circumstantial stuff going around in the case, I just want to make sure there was no comments ever made by you regarding,
I just want to make sure there was none.
Dislike of children or love children, either way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. Let me find it. I think this is where this starts. You guys can just take whatever you want off of there.
So it's easier for me to just take everything than it is to single it out. Plus, for the purposes of this case, the less exposure, we already have, initially you drew concern from me when you told me you deleted everything from Chris. I've already told you that. You understand why. There's no question as to why that might cause concern. So if there's anything else that ever comes up, I have it, and then we can just discuss it. Do you understand what I mean? All right.
It's right here. This is where it starts. She starts right there. She starts talking about her and her fiance. So that was like weeks ago.
Okay, so then upcoming
I don't
is
even
more
think
from the
she
same
put two and two
interview.
together, because last night it was just like the way she was talking. She wasn't like, this is him, this is it. She was like, I don't know what's going on. I just assume this is it, 'cause this guy worked at Anadarko, but she is not even like processing. What is occurring?
What do you mean by can tell he has a lot to take care of in life? What did you mean when you said that?
He has a mortgage and he has kids.
Okay.
And responsibility. I mean, he's a father with a house.
You're even saying in here he's all about his kids.
Yeah. And she was like asking me somewhere in there, like, I mean, everything I had to say about him at that point was like really positive. Like, I think I made it clear that I wasn't like 100% sure this was like the man of my dreams and I was going to spend the rest of my life with him or anything, but I was enjoying the time that I was spending with him at that point.
You're referencing that he has 2 kids and then you don't like that because you want to have that experience with somebody else? Is that what?
I just said I wasn't sure if he was the one that I wanted to be with because he had already like done everything.
Okay.
Like I was like, it would be really nice to kind of like have kids and have my own marriage and all of that stuff. That was never anything that I conveyed to him.
So you said he's handsome, huh? Did you send her a picture?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not attached here. Is that because do you think from what you
I think
deleted?
it's from when I deleted all my photos of his stuff.
Okay, and let's see. All right.
In my house last night, I did not like it. I was like, this is scary. But it's cool. I got to use it, so hopefully I don't have to go back.
So while you're doing that, let me ask you about the text with you and Charlotte.
He
You
keeps
talk
going back
about
for it.
children, and he's got his own kids, and that makes you kind of uncomfortable because you'd like to have your own family. Put that in context for me. Is that a fair statement the way I'm saying it?
I mean, I guess. There was never anything I like said to him though.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Did you ever say anything to him about like
Never.
anything about his kids being a problem? Anything about his wife being a problem?
Never. I always try to be so inclusive with them. And even with her, when I was talking to her, it wasn't that his kids were an issue. It was just, this man already has a life. Should I go build my own? You know,
So, she's saying never, never. So this man, he already has kids. It's not the issue. He has already built his life. Should I go build my own? Just like, let's go back to the day of July 14th that I refer to all the time when Kessinger and Chris Watts went to the Mustang Museum. They went back to Chris Watts' house. Dieter apparently drug her upstairs against her will. She saw a picture of Shannan, one of the girls, started pouting, threw a hissy fit. That is what was going on when Chris Watts referred to having to talk her off a ledge. Details. I've gone over many times. That's why I'm skimming over it. For those of you that are with me very often, you've heard it a million times. And, the sum of it is she tells Chris Watts that she wants to give him his first son. That's on July 14th. So this might actually be a really good time for us to segue into what it was Nicole Kessinger was really up to and what she saw despite all of her talk. Oh, maybe we should listen to a little more of this because there's some important stuff here.
I wouldn't be with him if I couldn't.
Okay. So I'm just making 100% sure that those,
I promise you.
Okay.
I really want you to pull these texts because all the stuff I've been telling you will
Okay.
sync up.
and I hope we can, I haven't been very lucky with your phones yet. There's been nothing but a pain. So this one's coming with me.
Okay, I think
Jeez.
I know.
All right. It's Chris Watts that says she said that. Oh,
This is a task. Some of these might be duplicates, but whatever. I'm gonna send these to you. No, that was kind of something between me and her, and it wasn't even really the kids. It was that like he'd already been married before, and I was just like, I don't know if I am in a long-term relationship with this guy. Is that something he would eventually want? Because that's something like I would eventually want.
well, I mean, such a great point, Mrs. O. Whoops. Where are you there, dear? Mrs. O. Not many mistresses try to be inclusive of a wife and kids. I just love how you say things. And Michelle G. Excellent point as well. If she wanted her own kids and marriage and stuff, then why screw a married man? And also, if she was currently in her dream job that she had worked so hard to get, don't sleep with a coworker. But you live and you learn. But her trespasses are so far and beyond just even the things that we're mentioning here.
You know, I just.
So your concern was more about his prior marriage than his children.
I guess I wasn't really that worried.
Good night,
about him at the
Kessinger.
time. Like if you read the majority of those texts, like it's very, very flattering to him and all the nice things that I have to say about him. It was just that I wasn't like 100% committed to him yet. I mean, I was monogamous with him. I wasn't seeing any other men, but I wasn't like, hey, this is the guy I want to spend the rest of my life with. And part of the reason that I was uncertain, I mean, yeah, he'd already built a life, but honestly, like he wasn't out of the marriage that he was already in.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm not going to go tell the whole world, like, hey, I've got this guy, and, I'm going to take in his kids, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. And it wasn't because I had any problems with them. It's just,
Okay.
I know the context of that text now, like, looking at it looks so bad.
You have to look at it from the perspective that I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
And how it could be misconstrued or made out to.
And just listen to her tone of voice when she's pleading with Kevin Kovac to not think anything of it here. She just sounds like a little child. It's just such a strange personality composition, in my opinion.
Found something another way. That's why I wanted to give you the opportunity to say what it really means. Okay.
No, I don't mean any harm towards those kids. I always thought they were so cute. When he showed me those pictures, he was all about them, and not only that, but it's like once you guys get those texts, you will see, like, there's not very much mention of his children. And if there is mention.
I believe that it might have Molson Man, who asked, does anyone here believe that the crime occurred in the basement and not the master bedroom? I believe that it might have. And the reason I most believe that are some things that Cindy Watts had to say, but we'll get into that a little later or another time. Does anyone else think that? Ara also says, I lean towards the basement more than the bedroom. Yeah. Anaphylaxis, says Molson Man, I think that's likely. Anaphylaxis and Ara, why do you guys think that that's most likely? And does anyone want to come up on panel, by the way? Mrs. O, who's also very knowledgeable, says, I wouldn't rule it out. So all of these very knowledgeable people of the case think that it's possible. Melody says, I don't believe it happened at the house at all. Jody is cool, says, I think that was taken out because of no smell of death in the house. You know what? I have possibly somebody who is a true expert on dogs that is considering either giving me like writing up a statement or doing an interview offline, or small chance I'm going to get them to come onto the channel. But I think that would be really good. Nilda also says, yes, in the basement. Melody believes they were taken through the back. I think that's very likely, Teacup. if anyone would like to come up, let me know. I'm going to keep playing this, and then we're going to
show
look at
his children, and
what
they
she really
always,
knew.
like, keep stuff where it's like, hey, you should show them this, or hey, this apartment's great for them, or, you know, what do you think of bunk beds? And, you know, like, those little girls, like, remind me of my little sister. They're like the
You said
same
that before,
age.
right.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was so cute. Like, he would call his little daughter, the younger one, Cece, he'd call her Rampage. He's like, she's wild. And it used to just make me smile because my little sister was totally Rampage. And it just was kind of like spot on, you know?
Now, this is very Amber Heard like too. I saw, Desiree, that you mentioned that. I still want to do the content on Amber Heard and NK. I've started the video. I don't know if I want to do a live stream or just put out a video. I meant to do that a while ago, but things have gotten busy. They have a very similar way of, telling a story, of relating it to themselves, of having a hard time answering questions that aren't about themselves. When they're asked a question that requires them to see things from someone else's perspective, or even to answer factual details about another person that does not include telling a self story, they struggle with it. Everything must relate back to c'est moi.
And so, like, it just kind of made me think, like, okay, these guys are going through a divorce at the same age that I was at when my parents went through a divorce. And it's like, how did I handle that? And I tell them, like, this is what happened when my parents separated and we were this old. And just try to, like, give him a reference because I gave it to him.
Right, okay.
I mean, but just because I care about him and I care about his kids and all of that doesn't mean that I'm ready to turn around and, like, commit
Did
everything.
he ever say anything like that? Like, do I have to get rid of my kids, or
No.
do I,
I'm putting the
This
link
shocked
to
me
come up on
just as
panel
much
in
as I think it
chat.
shocked the rest of the
Okay,
world.
so Ara, please come up. Whoever else would like to,
Like,
come
he
on up.
lies so much now. I go
I
back
love
and think of all
Ara.
this shit, and I'm like, it's lies. Everything I knew about him was like lies. I mean, his friends
Yeah,
on stay
Anna's
over at
happy
their
here in
house
chat. We'd love to have her
them.
come up, but
It's
we
not
don't want to
just
make her
me.
feel weird.
He lied to everybody. He had all of you fooled. And everybody stood up for him. His friends stood up for him. I really thought she left. I was like, let her fucking go.
Okay, so now this gets to the
He's
point.
always like been in the working out since I knew him, and he like tries.
Well,
to
you
eat
know what? I'm
clean.
not going to play this because this is going a little long. This is just when she's really expressing her disdain for Shannan, which I'll get to another time, guys. I got to cut something out here because we getting light. Okay, guys. So we talked in the very beginning of this live stream about Nicole Kessinger starting out her August 16th interview with Kevin Kovac, within the first 8 minutes, telling him and repeating to him that what she had learned about Chris Watts and his wife was that they were separated. They were heading towards divorce. Kevin Kovac presses for details, and she said, well, he definitely told me that still in June. It was before Father's Day, which on that year was June 17th. But then we look at her correspondence between herself and Chris Watts, the first ones that we have that are available per discovery. They're dated on June 12th when she tells Chris Watts she wants a beautiful life like the one that he's built with his wife. That makes no sense. This is what we know about the timeline in the beginning of their relationship. Watts receives his first email from Kessinger on June 12th. It says, Chris, thank you for being honest with me this morning. I'll bring you right up in a minute, Ara. Underrated in our culture. Saludos cordiales, Nikki. On June 14th, 2018, Chris Watts enters his coworker Nicole Kessinger's contact information into his work phone for the first time. On June 22nd, Shannan and Chris leave for San Diego to go on their Thrive trip, and they return on the 26th. On June 27th, 2018, Shannan, Bella, Cece, and Shannan's father, Frank, fly to North Carolina. They'll stay there for 5 weeks. Could it be on that same evening, June 27th, 2018, According to Nicole Kessinger's 7-page letter to law enforcement, Chris Watts arrives at her apartment with 2 boxes of condoms. 1 box is full and unopened. A second set of condoms is partially used. The whole world knows about that. But don't we really? So the next thing we're going to get into is looking at, well, you'll see. But let me just welcome Ara up here. And Sarah, we would love to have you come up. I know it's your first live stream. That might be a lot. And you also said that you're not feeling well. So I totally understand. Don't feel pressured, but just know that you're always welcome. Okay. So, Ara, my girl, how are you doing?
Hey, beautiful lady. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good. What's going on?
Well, I'm just here to support you, ma'am. But Molson just said something really cool. And I think I did this in the last live stream. Not that I'm always here, but
Okay. It seems like you're always here. I really appreciate you, girl. You do a lot. Thank you.
You're like so interesting to listen to.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
But he was like 111 minutes. This has been, or 111 people, and 100, and now it's at like 16 minutes. And I pointed out, I was like, this is what 111 minutes feels like. So think about, that's how long that conversation was between those two that night.
Like
that they cannot remember. Yes, ma'am.
So this has been a pretty long live stream. I'm like trying to move it along because it's always, always takes longer. So this has been a long time. Yeah. I mean, could you imagine? So let's think about this then.
Yeah.
A few days later, somebody says to you, somebody who's been here during this live stream the whole time. So, and this is for you guys there in chat. It's not a one-on-one intimate like conversation. It's a bunch of people in chat, but still. So what was discussed? Do you remember anything that was discussed during that live stream? Could you imagine not remembering a goddamn thing?
Well, I mean, if it's a personal conversation, like let's say,
Right.
I guess my point is, and I wasn't saying that this live is long. Honestly, we wish that you would be on here for like 4 hours.
Thanks. Sometimes we are.
Right. But like, imagine if you were talking to one person for this long. This is for as long as you've been here. You've been here from the beginning to the end.
That's
and just
right.
a few days later, they ask you, what did y'all talk about?
Exactly.
And you're going to
Right.
say, damn, I just don't remember.
I know. Exactly. Yes. That's why I was saying in a different
Yeah.
way, I guess. I know. It's just, yeah, that is really good. I'm glad you guys brought that up because it gives us something tangible to like compare that otherwise kind of nebulous, like, time frame to. Yeah, exactly. I mean, seriously. Jody is cool says, I would remember what was discussed in this live. Well, thank you. But any 111 minute anything. I mean, if I'm committed to something for 111 minutes, I'm not going to not remember anything about it. I'm sure of it. And if I don't, I really need to go see some kind of a specialist because there's a problem.
And if you were having phone sex, then say that. Say it. We were on FaceTime. Exactly.
Yeah.
I showed him my boobies and he showed me some stuff. We did some stuff. Say that.
And all kinds of other stuff. And you're going to see all this
Exactly.
stuff anyway. So talking about it's like not a big deal.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. That's a really good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Very good point. Is there anything else that stood out during the course of this live stream or the content we're talking about, or any other points you want to make? You always make some really good points in chat.
Well, I really want to support your what you were talking about, the big lie on destroying evidence.
Right.
And so the whole destroying the evidence situation, I just don't understand, I guess, in my opinion, why she thought that destroying a SIM card would be a good idea. I mean, I know that if we want to follow the narrative that she is an innocent person.
Right.
And we're all talking about how smart she is. I mean, I think you said that earlier too, that she is actually smart.
I do believe she's very smart. And that question is, and Melody, it's a very good point. We'll read that in a minute. I do think she is very smart. I do think she certainly would have considered what you said because she is by no means an idiot. She's a very calculated person. And I think in a good way, like, I see good attributes in her. I see a lot of really nasty ones too, but there's no way that she just messed this up. I think it was out of pure desperation. So are you willing to stay up for another couple minutes?
I will be here as long as you allow it, ma'am.
Thank you, darling. Because we're going to look at why she was in such a state of desperation. I just want to read this comment by Melody. It says, funny how NK remembers back stuff they did from June and July, but doesn't remember anything close to the dates of the murder. Exactly. It's, as Sarah said, or Sandy says, so suspect. And many people here, of course, agreeing with you. And Kelly searches equals the answer says destroy a SIM card, but keep his clothes. Really? Yeah, I know. It's just like all freaking crazy and stuff. Yes, exactly. Sandy says NK was in panic mode. I believe she was too. So, okay. So here we go. So we have Nicole Kessinger time and time and time again. We've been, beating this horse for like 111 minutes or more now, right? So she tells Kevin Kovac over a series of interviews, and I believe, I'm not sure, I believe she says this at least once in all 5 of the interviews. The only one I wasn't certain about was the very first one that I finally just audio remastered. I don't know if it's remastered. I cleaned it up.
I would love to hear that.
Well, I think if you guys are into it, maybe we'll do it soon in a live stream. The audio is really rough, so I kind of like cringe when I think of putting it on a live stream, but I believe that it's the cleanest I've heard the audio. I've actually been able to get some new things out of a transcription software that I haven't been able to get out of any other version. So we can also have the written version of it too, I think.
And Kelly, just FYI, a lot of people don't know about that interview.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they don't know about that park interview.
Yeah. So the first interview, for anyone who didn't know, I'll just tell you really briefly, was between Nicole Kessinger and Kevin Kovac wasn't even there, was he, Ara?
No, but her dad was, and her dog was.
Her dad was, and her dog was. You said that so like NK. I love it. And it was a gentleman who is in and out of this interview a little bit. His name is escaping me. I'll get it to you guys. I just this is one thing that's been taking up a lot of my time the past couple of weeks, is trying to clean up this audio. I wanted to get the audio clean enough where everything that we can even hear her utter can be picked up in transcription. It was a pretty lofty goal. I don't think I quite got there, but I got pretty close, and I don't think I can do any more because I just don't know how to. I don't know if I can. I'm sure somebody could probably get it cleaner, but I cannot. But so anyway, her very first interview was on August 15th. 2 FBI agents met her, her dad, and her dog in a park of her choice near her house. One of the most interesting things about that first interview on August 15th, and oh guys, the audio is terrible. It's like there's cars going by and beeping their horn, and there's wind, and there's dogs barking, and there's, the microphones rubbing against material, and it's just really rough to listen to. That's why it was so hard to clean up. One of the most interesting things about that interview is how similar it is to things that are said in every other interview, but not in a way where truth repeats itself, but in more of a sense of where an actor's rehearsed lines come out the same in one performance night after night. You know what I mean? And when you listen to it, I'm sure you guys will hear that.
You are exactly right, Kelly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That, don't you think, anyone who's heard that, do you think that's how it comes off? Because I definitely think it does.
For me,
sure.
if the background wasn't different, I would think it's almost the same interview. And I mean, I'm a music teacher, and I know what things sound like when they're rehearsed.
Oh, wow. That is real. I've been meaning to email you and ask you what you teach. That's awesome. What grade levels do you teach?
I teach 6 through 12, and I teach music. I know what things sound like when they're rehearsed and how to listen to it to make sure it's the same every time. I'm talking about inflection, volume level, everything. And that's through instruments. So I listen to sound. I don't listen to just words.
That is so interesting, Ara. I would love to have your opinion on this then. That's really interesting. Now, Jennifer Bradford said, when I just said a park close to her house of her choosing, Jenny, I was kind of rethinking that. I actually was not clear on how close it was to her house. So Jennifer Bradford gave us some more information on that and says, I think that park was 16 minutes from NK's house. There was a closer one. So Jennifer Bradford, do you think there's any specific reason why that one was chosen, or is there really nothing to it?
Jennifer and I were actually talking about this last time, that East Lake number 3 is close to NK's apartment. And that's also the park that Nick Thayer runs at.
Right. The one that Chris Watts said, we shouldn't go there. My friend runs there.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you think about that?
I have a whole nother theory on that, but I don't want to take the...
Okay.
wanna take
Okay.
the, yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's bring this one home. Okay. So we know that Nicole Kessinger, let's take a look at discovery. So we know that Nicole Kessinger was searching for Shannan Watts and Chris Watts long before she and Chris Watts started dating. So the dates are she searched for Chris Watts the first time, guys, on August 3rd, 2017. So that's almost a full year before these tragic murders occurred. Then, just a little bit under 1 month later, on September 1st, 2017, she searched for Shannan Watts. And during the last live stream, we looked at some of the things she saw when she made those searches. She again searched for Shannan Watts on January 7th, 2018, which was a full to February, March, April, May, June, a full 6 months before Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts claim they started dating. So, what's up with all of this, right? Now, I just want to read you this little note about in Discovery about Nicole Kessinger's personal phone. It's right before the Discovery timeline begins. It says this device is an Apple iPhone 6S, serial number, la da da. The current operating system is 11.4.1, which was important when we were looking at the relevant antennas that would send her a signal when I did the ping bit. The device phone number is whatever. The Apple ID is whatever. The device stored 34,527 timeline entries, 8,420 images, 166 contacts, 820 images, 12 audio recordings, 8,152 SMS messages, 400 MMS messages, and 206 entries in the call log. I don't know. Maybe that'll mean something to any of you.
And I just want to stand corrected. You're right. It was the Arvada, Colorado park. So I misspoke. I just don't want to put that on record here. I was wrong about that part. Thank you, Jennifer.
Okay. Thank you. Jennifer's like full of great stuff, always, and especially at night, but always. So then there's a note from the forensic data technician that says the device is devoid of any calls, messages, photographs, or videos involving Watts. There is no listing for Watts, nor even his phone number in the device contact list. Now, if we just go up to read the note about Watt's phone, it says, now I'm reading the italics. So this is the notes from the forensic technician. It says, there is no record of any contacts between Watts and Tremble. Okay, that's right. I don't even with Tremble. I just think that's weird craziness. I don't know. Some people make the connection. I don't. Then it says the number of SM messages retained in this phone is meager at best. Watts clearly took steps to delete a vast number of records documenting his communication with others. For example, in July 2018, there were only 3 messages remaining in the device, and they occurred on the 29th. In contrast, there are 67 messages from January 2018. So we know that he did, in fact, probably follow Nicole Kessinger's instructions and delete a large number of his communications. Now, we do know that he had been deleting his messages between himself and Shannan all along.
Yes.
Now, the note from the forensic technician, so I'm reading the italics under Shannan's personal phone, says, the vast number of messages exchanged between Watts and Shannan while she was in North Carolina are featured in Shannan's device, but rarely, if ever, found anywhere in Watts' device. So, we do understand that he had been just deleting her messages all along, which just to me says dick face, but whatever. Okay. So now I think it's important to note here, guys, that the official, oh my gosh, I wasn't sharing that the whole time. Damn it. It's okay. I was sharing all of that with you, by the way. Let me just grab all that here.
I could follow along. You're good.
Okay, cool. So, all right, here we go. So what I was sharing to you guys is I'll just show you. It was just above the timeline here. If anyone wants to read that, I read you the italics here, and the italics here, noted under each of their phones. Okay. So now right under this, we begin the official discovery timeline. So very interesting, guys. The first item on this official discovery timeline is September 1st, 2017. Kessinger searched the internet for the name Shannan Watts. Now, maybe this is not a big deal, but maybe it is. Let me just run this by you. It is striking to me that then the next item on the discovery timeline is May 29th, 2018. So it was actually a commenter on one of my videos who pointed this out, that in the minds of law enforcement, as far as the timeline is concerned, it was this timeline event on September 1st, 2017, when Kessinger searched the internet for the name Shannan Watts, that began this whole case, right? Now, I think that's important, and I think that that person could be right, and this is why. It is also noted elsewhere in discovery, and I just don't have it at the tips of my fingers right now, that Kessinger did, in fact, search for Chris Watts on August 3rd, 2017, as I just said. And again, Shannan Watts on January 7th, 2018. But neither of those search instances appear in the official timeline. So what is it about the September 1st search in 2017 that heads off this entire timeline of a triple plus homicide case?
You want to know what I think?
Go ahead. I do, for sure.
Well, I was talking to my fiance about it, and his answer was quick. He said, because she already knew the husband.
Yeah. Okay.
And she Googles what she doesn't know. So why Google Chris Watts if she already knows him? Especially when, if we go with that theory, again, this is a theory.
Sure. No, that's that. No, I mean, I think that's a really good point. I'm just thinking about it.
And right.
There's got to be something. Go ahead. Finish what you're going to say.
No, sorry. That's coming from him. And he, as soon as he didn't know about the case, but I gave him more info, and he, right away he's like, yeah, she's a snake. And I told her the stuff she Googled. Yeah. And then when I said, and you know what her first Google search was, that's in discovery, it says Shannan Watts, September the 1st. And he said, she had already met him, because why Google him? She's going to Google the wife.
Yeah. Well, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. So I think that is totally possible. I think that there is definitely, something to it. So let's definitely keep following up on that. I think that your fiance's insight into that could possibly be totally right. So we do know that, as mentioned earlier in discovery, she searched for Chris Watts in August 2017, is noted right here, Shannan in September 2017, and then again in January of 2018. Now, as I told you during the last live stream, there is a point. Oh, I meant to pull that out. I will do it. I'll do it for the next one. In the video version of the August 16th interview of Nicole Kessinger that I played a few excerpts of during this live stream, when Kevin Kobach mentions that there's 153 pages of Google search results from Nicole Kessinger's devices. Now, interestingly, I'm almost pretty sure I've searched everywhere for it. I don't think that statement from Kobach appears exists in the audio only version of that interview, which I have to verify that. I have to do a little more work to verify that, but I'm pretty sure I can say that statement is correct.
I believe
that's
you're
very
right.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Okay, cool.
Kelly, I have a question.
Go. Yeah, please.
September the 1st, and I have already started this research myself, but you already have an organized compilation of Shannan's posts.
Yes.
What was going on September the 1st, 2017, or August? Okay. Yeah. Something like that, 2017, around that time, because I couldn't find anything she was posting online. There's stuff missing.
Yeah, there is. Okay, so we are actually going to go into her post. So I'll hit that first,
if that's okay. So, I don't want to deter from your.
No. It's okay. I mean, the point I'm trying that is being made here. It's a big point. There's a lot to discuss. It has big ramifications and implications. Like, it's all good. There's a lot to it. Let's see. Let me just find this 2017, my Facebook video, and then we'll pop that up. Good question. Okay. So right around the time that Nicole Kessinger, well, exactly at the time.
Are you
Nicole
trying to share
Kessinger-
it?
I will do,
Oh, okay,
I'm
okay.
doing so. I'm talking while it's loading here. Whoops.
Okay,
Okay, hold on.
just checking so you don't.
Thank you.
Yes.
No, thank you. Because I wasn't sharing this in Discovery when I meant to. Okay, so here, I'm going to put this up. So this is a video I created. I did a video on each of Shannan Watt's Facebook posts throughout a year. I just published the 2018 one that has some video excerpts as well. So this is the one from 2017. So, all right, we have here, let's see, January. So let's get to the point of, let's see. Okay. I feel like I just did a video on this, but it's okay. We can look at it now too, of course. I can't remember what I have and have not done. Isn't that terrible?
Everybody needs to go to your channel and watch all of this.
You've got to get through. The videos. I wish I could better organize. I don't even know how to, but man, guys, there's a video on everything.
Well, this is your way of backing yourself up. So, like,
It is.
because you have a lot of new people I've
Exactly.
noticed in your chat. So this is how Kelly
That's
backs herself up. And y'all go check out. 'Cause she's done a lot of work.
That's right. It's because, to talk about everything in detail. Well, first of all, it's just not possible. This all takes a long time to discuss and to go through in detail. But then, the people that, and if you're a person that stays with this channel for a while, it just starts to be like, it's good to repeat some things to a certain extent, but the people that are here all the time, you know what I mean? Okay. So she searched Chris Watts the first time on August 3rd, 2017. She then searched Shannan Watts on September 1st, 2017. So, oops, that's a little out of order because that was from October 31st. So let me just get to the right spot. Oh, they're a little out of order. I do my best. Okay.
Joan is here. Hi, Joan.
Hi, Joan. Oh, congratulations to your son, sweetheart. That's so wonderful. I love it. And thank you for being here, sweetheart. She's so wonderful. I love Joan. She's such a good friend. Okay, here it is. Okay, so let's start out here with this. So this was a post from July, you can see it, right? Yeah, July 17th, 2017. So when Shannan Watts is searching, all up in their shiznit on August 1st, obviously she's going to see some recent posts. So, here we're going back a little further even. There's just some posts of Bella, of Shannan and her friends, of the kids starting school, the kids being sick, the kids sitting on the toilet. Oy. So I would never, but that's just me.
Yeah.
So now, wait, let me turn the volume down on this. So as we go along, so the next post in the chronology here that I have at least is on August 28th, 2017. So this would definitely be a post that Nicole Kessinger would have seen when she searched Shannan on September 1st. Definitely. It says, late dinner with my amazing supportive hubby. He rocks and couldn't imagine life without him.
Oh,
Hashtag
God.
boss couple. Hashtag thriving couple. Hashtag power couple. Hashtag forever.
Kelly,
All right?
given the circumstances, that sentence really just gave me the chills when he says he rocks and couldn't imagine my life without him.
I know.
And Joan is saying if you need a moderator, she's here for you. Just
Thank you, Joan. Joan, you're so wonderful.
I'm sorry, Jennifer. Jennifer Becker.
Oh, thank you. I would love to make you I will definitely make you a moderator, Jennifer, if you'd like to, for sure. Jennifer, could you send me an email at wattsobsession@gmail.com, just so I can put you on the list. But
I'll put it there for you, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You got it.
I did. Thank you, though, sweetheart. You're so good like that. I really appreciate it. So now this, you know what I did? I cut off the date, but this is, let's see, what was the next one? This was I think this was like August 30th. So it says, mornings can be super crazy, especially on school days. I love the patience, focus, and waking up at 5 a.m. happy I get from Thrive. So this is all just Thrive stuff. Now, this was right around the same time. So this is in the very beginning of September, end of August, when Shannan had her neck surgery. So she would have been seeing these pictures of Shannan with her neck brace on. And obviously, here's the whole family together. And then along with Christina Meacham's daughter, because Christina Meacham was staying with Shannan from Hawaii with her daughter to help her out while her neck was healing because she could only lift so much.
Was that September 1st?
Yes, I believe this was September 1st. Yeah, this was September 1st. And then this one, when she put all of them together, was September 5th. So, okay, so she would have seen those individual pictures on September 1st. Now, guys, I think, okay, we know because it states in Discovery that she searched Chris Watts on August 3rd, 2017, Shannan on September 1st, 2017, and Shannan again on January 7th, 2018. We also know that in the video and video only version of the August 16th interview, Kevin Kobach points out that there's at least 153 pages of search results from Nicole Kessinger's devices. Now imagine how many search results you can list on a printer page. I mean, so this is like a lot of results. Now, when Lana from Truth and Transparency came into chat during the last live stream, and I said 153 pages of search results, she like literally laughed because she believes that there's a lot more.
Oh yeah.
So we can safely assume, my friends, and then there's other points throughout the Discovery timeline when Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts were dating, where there are notes about Nicole Kessinger searching for Shannan Watts again. So guys, in my opinion, it is very safe to assume that from the first time she searched for Shannan Watts until her death and after, Nicole Kessinger was stalker searching her all along. We have evidence to support moving towards that conclusion, but there's so much that was not included in Discovery to fully bolster that conclusion, if you know what I'm saying. So Here we got September 5th, and let me just see if I put any out of order. Okay, so now as we're moving along, we'll get towards the very end, because remember, she searched Shannan on January 7th, 2018. So she'd be seeing also, obviously, what was at the very end of this year. Do I have some more posts after this? I think I do.
It's important to note that, and just, I don't know if you agree with this, Kelly, but when people, especially in other channels, if you guys are new or old to this case, when people say, I think NK was involved, I don't think that everybody agrees that she physically killed anybody. Some of us do, some of us don't. But remember that NK does say it herself. In one text, she says, are we bad people? Someone that thinks they're doing nothing wrong does not ask that kind of question. And also, she says, I wonder if I hadn't come into his life, if this would have happened. But then she contradicts herself and said, well, the cheese was slipping off his cracker anyway.
That's right.
So the only proof that I have of her being involved, whether it was her physically doing something or being a very big influence on him, is that she well, I guess I lost my sentence, but I think she is involved one way or another, and she thinks so too. So when people say that, I think everybody put your guard down, and you can't be a right or a left on this, because we're not all talking about her for no reason.
That's right.
Everyone just have an open mind, because it creates a lot of fights between channels and peoples that doesn't need to happen. Everyone's just being logical here, and she says it herself. So it's just something to think about. And I don't know if you agree.
Such a great point. Such a great point. And let's see, to that point, whoops, let's see. Well, here we go. So, just looking at those, hold it. Okay, hold it. Let me pop that open, and whoops, can't do that yet. Hold it. That was a really good point, Ara. So to Ara's point here.
And I don't feel comfortable calling someone a killer if I don't really think that. But I mean, we're all intelligent people here, and you have intelligent people in your chat. And I mean, you maybe have 1% in here that maybe disagree, but I think we all in our hearts know that she had some involvement, and she also knows it too. And it's okay to speak that.
That's right.
And we accept that.
That's right. Now, when we go to the record of the text messages between Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts per Discovery, we find that, interestingly enough, the first text messages between the two of them is on June 27th, 2018. Now, that's the very same day that Shannan left for North Carolina, and Chris Watts showed up at her doorstep with 2 boxes of unexpired condoms. So he says, promise, I'm about loyalty, truthfulness, and being dedicated. I don't like playing games unless it's role playing. Vomit.
Gross.
And then, I know. All right. So moving along a little.
Kelly,
Okay,
when
and then-
when she says box of condoms, this was an interesting thing that we were talking about the other day. Do you
Mhm.
think it was like a 3-pack, like a 6-pack, like a 30-pack?
I don't know. I don't even know what they come in. I saw that you guys were talking about that. I have totally no idea. I'd have to
I think it was
research
a
that
3-pack, so
myself.
my opinion.
I was imagining like a big box, but I don't even know. I don't even know what I've never bought them. We're gonna have to look into that.
Damn, I
So
just
then
called
Chris-
myself out.
Then Chris Watts goes on to say, if you want me there, I'll be there. Ice cream, cookies, and lollipop sounds like a cheat meal night. Now, a cheat meal is a Thrive thing, by the way. Okay. So then he says, I'm still going to see you. It won't be as often as we like, but I'll make it happen. Do you think you're the only one addicted right now? I'm so hooked on you. And then on the 29th, he says, sleeping out without your warm body next to me isn't going to be fun tonight. Now, apparently, they only started sleeping together on the 27th, just before. So that's just so weird to me. But anyway,
Yeah.
so now she says to him, I have an idea. This is on June 30th. I have a free hotel stay at the Holiday Inn. Woohoo. Not sure if you can swing it this month, but we can road trip to the mountains or southern Colorado for a day or two if you want. Then he doesn't respond. She says, won't cost a dime. And then she goes on to say about a friend of hers, I guess. She supports me, but her parents were in a situation like that when she was a kid and it came up. It won't bother me. I'm not going to stop seeing you.
Hey,
now,
Kelly.
this is what yes.
No, hold on. Look, go back real quick because she's. I don't mean to interrupt you, but think about this. Tell me what you think about this.
Yeah.
Your IQ is way higher than mine. Okay. But she says that was in June 30th when she says, I don't know if you could swing it this month. It's like, what other month would you be able, like, didn't you just start talking that month?
Right. Exactly. I mean,
what does that mean? This month.
The timeline doesn't make sense. Yeah, I know. I feel ya. Yeah.
Right? That's such a weird thing to say.
It's such a weird thing to say. And I don't know why. It's all okay.
It bothers me.
So,
sorry.
Yeah. So no, I think that's a very good point. So then she says, are we bad people? So anyway, I'm not going to go through all of this because I digress once again, but she knows they're bad. No. This is great. She knows they're bad. They're bad. They know they're bad people. All right. So now, okay. So here we go with this. So now, dun, 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 this is what the point I've been kind of building up to. Let's see. Oh, no, not that one. Hold it. I got a little lost here.
And y'all, like, if you're judging her sexual Google searches, I mean, people are allowed to, be like who they are, but she pretends to be transparent, but she's not. Just think about that.
Right. Yeah, that's really, yeah, exactly. I totally agree with that. So, all right, guys. So knowing that she was searching Shannan and Chris Watts long before they were supposedly dating, and she was searching for Shannan Watts per the discovery notes throughout her relationship with Chris Watts. And Kevin Kovac told us that there was at least 153 pages of search results from Nicole Kessinger's phone, and obviously very few of them actually made them into discovery, but we know the ones that did get into discovery are very meaningful. Based on all of that, my friends, and hello, Matt Willis. I miss you. I haven't seen you in quite some time. Welcome. Based on all of that, guys, I feel very safe in concluding that Nicole Kessinger was searching Shannan Watts throughout the entirety of their relationship and even before. So based on all of that, let me see if it makes it bigger. I'm going to pop us out. I mean, you're still there, Ara, but I'm just going to show like this so people can really see it. The timing is so curious, guys. So here we see on June 10th, 2018, this is the very first time Shannan Watts publicly posted about baby Watts number 3 that was on the way. This post says, Ready or not, Celeste, here comes baby Watts number 3. And then obviously Bella is pointing to a chalkboard where it says Big Sister 101, and Cece is sucking her thumb and pouting. So that's June 10th, right?
Oh, they're
So
beautiful.
now,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, oops. Wait, let me press play. I don't want to miss anything here because these are all important. Okay. Let me turn the volume down. Okay. So I think, okay. Now, also on June 11th, or no, the next day, June 11th, this post says the reaction of both Chris finding out we were pregnant and the girls. Bella is the sweetest in the end. June 11th, 2018. So, along with this post here, she also posted the video of Chris Watts' reaction to Shannan being pregnant and the video of her telling the girls that she's pregnant. June 11th, 2018.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
So now, hold it because I lost it. So June 10th, 2018 is the first time she mentions the pregnancy. Hold it. Sorry, bad multitasker here. Okay. And then June 11th, the next day, she, says, this is how Chris reacted. This is how Bella and Celeste reacted. And then let me just bring it in for you. Oops. Hold it.
I feel like
here.
her posts just seem more excessive, and I think she knew someone was watching her.
I think so too. So on the 10th, you see we have her first announcement. On the 11th, we have the reactions. And then, oh, look at this, guys. We've already looked at this today, but I just need to show you the timeline in the chronological order. On the 12th, the next day, what do we have? The first email between Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts.
Yes, ma'am.
June 10th, we have Shannan Watts' first post announcing baby Watts number 3 is on the way. The next day, June 11th, we have a post with Chris's reaction to the pregnancy and the girls' reaction to the pregnancy. The very next day, June 11th, bang, first email, first communication between Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts.
Thanking him for being honest.
Thank you for being honest with me this morning. Truthfulness is so underrated in our culture. Saludos cordiales, Nikki. Now, I know some of you asked a question pertaining to this a long time ago during this live stream. I hope you're still with me because I knew that we were getting there. We're getting there, okay?
Such a good point, Kelly. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So then, remember, Chris responds, whatever. This one I don't think is too interesting. But then Nikki responds back to him saying, I am looking for someone to build a beautiful life with. Build something similar to what you have done with your wife and those cute little girls. So obviously, Chris Watts has not told her that he and his wife are getting a separation because that is not the life she wants to build. She says a million times that she wants to find someone to marry and have children with. And then she says, by the way, I keep the conversations we have between us. What do they have between them to keep secret? And then in his response, he says, any conversations we will have stay between us. No need to worry there. So what would she be so worried about if he disclosed to someone else? This is all very interesting and suspect, and I just can't.
Mic drop. This is where you say mic drop.
Mic drop.
Boom. It's true.
Boom.
I mean, the timeline says everything, y'all.
It does. It totally does. So then, as we go back to Shannan Watts' Facebook posts, ding, nowhere. Oh, no. Let's see. I'm just going to have to kind of fish around. Okay, here we go. We have, let me make sure I made it in there. All right. Now we have, I love my sexy man. He keeps asking for things to do since he started #burn. He's getting his tan on for San Diego, he said. Okay. So that's on June 16th. Now, Kessinger is perving around her Facebook page. I would not believe otherwise. No way, no how.
Yep.
So I don't even know what date. It's around the same date. She's again going on about her pregnancy. All right. And then Look, June 17th, Father's Day. Because remember, she says it was before Father's Day, which was June 17th, that Chris Watts told her that he and Shannan were separated.
Yep.
Well, we know she was perving around Shanann's Facebook page on June 17th. Shannan says, he loves one of the shirts the girls and I made for him. Thank you, Alicia, hot off the press. And it says, I'm a proud dad. And like my kids love the Steelers, right? So now that's Bella with the boys, I guess, with a skirt on, showing things she shouldn't. I don't know.
feel like she was fighting for her family online to show whoever was trying to get her man would see that, like, hey, I'm not giving up on this marriage.
I absolutely feel that, especially when I went through this last time when I was putting together this material and making the videos. I very strongly feel that. So now here on June, I think it's 18th, something's covering up the date, but it says, in less than 4 days, Chris and I will be chilling on the beach somewhere in San Diego, much needed vacation before our trip to North Carolina. She's starting to announce, and guys, don't ever on social media announce when you're going to be away for home in case somebody is scoping out your significant other or they want to rob your house. This is just not advisable.
Exactly.
She's starting to talk about her plans to be away from home. Now, obviously, she wasn't thinking about that. She just wanted to share. I'm not saying she did anything terrible, but, you know, we all can very easily make that mistake.
Yep. It's
So
true.
getting our San Diego prep on, you know, yep, we're going to San Diego. Now, this one, I would love to know what you guys think about this. So on June 19th, 2018, Shannan had her first ultrasound to see the baby. So this post says, Chris is hiding in the field from tornadoes and will miss the first ultrasound. Crying face. Bringing Bella in his place. She's excited. What the hell was going on? Because it was not a tornado where he did not go to the ultrasound. I mean,
well, there are pictures. Addie sent pictures, and I have them in a folder.
Of the tornado?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't on that date, was it?
I'm gonna double check really quick.
Okay, please do.
But someone asked you a question. They put it in bold, and then she asked you to please read it. Melody.
Yes, I will. Okay, I'm so sorry, Melody. I'll read it. I'm sorry about that, honey. Okay. Melody says, "Hi, Hurt Locker. How are you doing?" Hurt Locker says, "I just want to say it really quick. I'm starting to think that they met at the gym because wasn't Shannan's parents living there in September of 2017? Listen, they weren't there in September of 2017, Hurt Locker. It was, I'm going to have to look that up. But remember, that was a time when Christina Meacham was staying with them because Shannan had just had her neck surgery. And I know she was there for a little while. And I do not believe that Christina Meacham and her daughters stays much overlap. Or no, actually, I think they did overlap a little with Sandy's stay because there are a couple. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look into that and get back to you. If you actually know more about that, go ahead and post it. Okay, so here we go. Melody says, question, how did they know Shannan was having a boy when she found out she was pregnant in June and bought boy clothes in North Carolina? Okay, so when they were in North Carolina, she didn't know that she was having a boy. The post that I'm going to show you, and it's coming up here, it's, white and baby blue because that is, it's not, I said North Carolina Panthers before, but it's not the Panthers. It's the Tar Heels, right? Or like it's a Chapel Hill sports team. It's like what is it called? I have to look it up now.
Well, what was your question? I'm sorry. And the tornado was this April the 20th.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry, not April. Sorry, what the fuck? June the 20th.
Maybe
6/20.
All right, so he said that was the 19th. So, okay, so Melody. So this is, so it's the North Carolina, the Chapel Hill Tar Heels that are that like white and baby blue color. That was the color of the onesie that she bought for baby Watts. That's coming up. Now, it does look like, if anything, they would be boy colors, but I do think that is just a coincidence. Does that make sense?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Never thought about that.
Yeah. So it's not the Panthers, guys. I know. I've said that a million times. It's Tar Heels, okay? I get so many comments about that. Mean ones, too.
You just gave me a whole new thing to think about. Thanks, Kelly.
Oh no, what's that?
No, about like the baby and the colors.
Oh yeah, yeah. So then she posts, just in case anybody who was perving around her Facebook page didn't realize she was having a baby. She says, "I love Chris. He's the best dad us girls could ask for." And there's, at the top it says no 5 babies. That was from Chris because remember Bella said, "Oh, you're having 5 babies." So there's the ultrasound picture. And just in case that's not clear enough, just in case. Oh, I'm sorry. And this is on June 19th, guys. The
Yes.
ultrasound that Watts missed. Oh, there's another one.
She's
So
having
now
an online war with somebody.
She is. Don't you feel that so strongly here? I really
us
think
women,
that.
we know what she's doing.
Yeah, I think that too. Yep. And here it's just doctor. She's talking about going on the airplane. Oh, here, steak and cheddar panini, just what baby Watts ordered. So good. Yep. Total.
She's saying, "Fuck you,
Total.
bitch."
Yep. Yep. I got a baby brewing.
Excuse my French. I'm sorry.
No, it's true. Then she says, "Thanks, Dad, for flying in and watching our girls for us. They are so excited to have you here. Have a great time." He was staying with the girls when they were in San Diego, and then he flew with them back to North Carolina. So for the people that are saying that Shannan could not be with the girls alone, therefore Frank had to fly out with Colorado just to fly them back to North Carolina, that was not it. He was watching the children while Chris and Shannan were in San Diego on that Thrive trip. And then it was a convenient time for him to fly with them to North Carolina. I'm sure those 2 girls on a plane were a handful. I wouldn't want to do it. God
Hell
bless their
no.
souls, but
Oh yeah, they were because they were such bright and they had kids and they had a lot of life in them. They were happy children, so they just
and they were so
Yeah.
different. PC
Yeah.
was like, go, very energetic, and Bella she was very high maintenance, but in a very different way. Beautiful children, very different. I think they'd be exhausting. So here on June 22nd, our 6th paid for vacation from Lavelle in 2 years. Anyway, she and her husband are happily traveling to San Diego. Yeah.
she and then Kessinger, was feeling some kind of way, so she aggressively went after CW at that point.
I think so too. So now look at this. Travel. It's my love and hobby, blah, 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 blah. But she's saying, this is where we've gone. This is where we've gone. This is where we've gone. Oh, she doesn't talk about North Carolina here, but it's coming up. It's coming up. Promise. Yeah. Day 3 in San Diego was amazing so far. Beautiful weather and amazing friends.
And let me post these pictures of me hugging my husband.
Yeah, right. I know. Okay, so June 26th, just landed in Denver, going home to nap, pack for 6 weeks, and I'll be back here in 12 hours. So she's telling the whole world, in 12 hours, I'm going to be back at the airport, and then I'm going to be gone for 6 weeks.
And then she always puts, you notice with her hand, like the muscle one.
Yeah.
And NK is a big muscle freak and her husband is.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm strong too, bitch.
That's right. It'll be interesting to see if her early on posted that. I'm not sure. That's very
And notice
interesting.
that Chris Watts deleted his Facebook after because.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. That's right. And then what's the date here? I can't see it. I think it's July 5th. I think it's July 5th. Traveling with our crazy kids. So she's just going on and on about that. And then let's see. So got the kids there sleeping. Obviously they're away. Okay, so here's what you were talking about, Melody. So bought baby Watts' first outfit. Now this is on July 14th, 2018. So this is, although it does look like baby boy blue colors. And if I was Nicole Kessinger and I saw this and I wanted to give Chris Watts his first son, I would be freaking out. And guess what Nicole Kessinger did on July 14th? She freaked the fuck out. How about that?
Well,
That's
shit.
when they went. That right? That's when they went to the Mustang Museum, went back to her house. Dieter drug her upstairs and the whole story. And she ended up pouting, going out in her car, saying, "Your wife is so beautiful. Why would you give all of this up for me?" Good
Work it out with her. Work it out. That was the test.
Right. And then she tells Kobach that, "Oh, yeah, I was just trying to, I started encouraging them to work things out." But what Chris Watts said was that she freaked out. She went out in her car. She started pouting. She came back in and he both felt a little weirded out because she freaked out so badly, but also like a manly man because he was able to like hold her and console her and calm her down. And he was never able to do that or have that feeling with Shannan or anyone else. That's also when she told him, probably out of spite, that she had set up a couple dates on eHarmony, but she didn't go. Then she said, oh, but I didn't go on them. And then they both say that after that date, their sex life was not ever the same. Rather than having sex 25 times a day, they only had sex 4 or 5 times a day. Or
And you know what? There's 2 ways to say this, and y'all women know what I'm talking about. We can say, hey, you know what? Just go work it out. I don't think this is right. Like, you know, or you can be like, you know what? Just go work it out. No, go work it out with your wife. You better figure it out and let me know, okay?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. And then Nilda says, this is what Ara was saying, Nilda, darling. I think that, I think we're on the same page here. She says, it just dawned on me that Shannan, R.I.P., yes, Shannan, rest in peace, darling, knew someone was watching her videos. Yes, that's the thing, my friend. When you put all of this together, Nilda said that like 12 minutes ago. So we were all coming to that conclusion. When you put all this together, guys, it's so clear, right? I mean,
hell yeah. And then on Monday, what happened? Oh, you know what? Jim is going to come over. You know what? You want to be with your wife? Well, Jim is going to come over.
Yeah, right. Oh,
she's a vindictive bitch.
She really is. Let's see.
I can be a little aggressive when I speak, y'all. Sorry.
It's okay. So Black Cadillac says, I've heard on other channels that she was also dating an Anadarko executive. Not sure though. I've heard that on other channels as well. I myself have not been able to verify that in any way, shape, or form. I've tried to. I would love to. Not verifiable. Not going to be announced on this channel. But if anyone has any information about that, I'd be happy to take a look at it.
I just love the way you explain.
And thank you, Black Cadillac. Yeah, I didn't mean to be like, like smacking that down, sweetie. I was just saying I've heard it too. I wish I could verify it because that would be a lead, but I cannot. That's what I mean. Yeah. Thank you, Ara.
And the way that you're presenting all this, it just makes sense. And somebody can come in and then just say, well, this is all just, what is it? What is the word I'm looking for? Help me out. Like, we're just guessing here. We're just assuming.
Right.
But I mean, you guys, have you ever used logic?
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's why during the live streams, like sometimes I know there are certain things I repeat, and it is for those people that are just coming on, but it's also that, I, in my mind and on paper and in the way I structure things, I have identified some things that we have been able to conclude that are key foundational points in this whole case that really give us a better inclination of what really happened than what we've been told by law enforcement, because I personally don't believe it. And I know a lot of you do not either. And I think that it's worth, and it's a good thing to repeat those points, not because, it's something I'm pushing that I want you to believe, because these are the things that a reasonable, logical person could certainly conclude with what we've been given when we wade through all of the lies and extract the truth, So that's how I look at it.
I completely agree with you.
Yes.
Completely.
And thank you, darling. And John McSmith says, R is the best, and lots of great emojis.
That's a big deal coming from John.
It is. He is the best, John. John, we're having a moment, John. I agree with you.
And also, John, think about it. It's because John likes boxing. So Shannan had her boxing gloves on. And
she did.
And NK put them on too. And then they went at it, but we do it online. Or we're passive aggressive. Yeah. Women fight passive aggressively.
They do, kind of by nature. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And Desired, her name is Desiree, says, you're awesome, RR. You're getting a lot of kudos. You probably see them, but I just want to let you know because
you guys are awesome, and Kelly's awesome because this is a cool place to hang out and chat.
It is. I'm glad you guys think so, because that's what we want to be.
And congratulations on all your new members, Kelly.
Oh, thank you. And thank you guys for being members and subscribers. And I'm so appreciative. I love it. You guys are great. We have a very awesome community, I think. I know we do. I was going to say, I think we have the best true crime online community, but I'm biased. A feverish Fiend says, and welcome, by the way, says, you're a side piece of pish. You know your place or walk away, or know your place or walk away. I mean, it's true, though.
She knew it
Yeah.
also. That's why she asked Chris Watts, are we bad people?
Yeah, she did know it. She did know it.
If you don't think you're a bad person, don't ask anybody if you're a bad person.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Yes, and Sandy, you're right. Chris Watts did want a boy, and Kay wanted to give him his boy.
I really,
Oh my
where
gosh.
is that in the interview? Because I really want to go back and listen to that.
I am actually going to be making like a short little video about that because a lot of people have asked that question. So I wouldn't be able to pull it up right now, but I can. Well, I'm probably going to put that video out this weekend because it's very relevant with everything that we're talking about. And this little onesie here and all that stuff. So I'm going to push that one out super soon.
Thank you, Kelly, for that.
Yeah, no problem. And yeah, you're welcome. So thank you for doing the research and putting it together. You're very welcome. I think it's important because here's the thing. I think you guys are seeing this. Sometimes it takes a while to get there. Desiree said that we make a good team, Ara. I think so too. I always love it when you come on.
Kelly is easy to get along with, y'all.
Thank you. So I think you guys are seeing when you start to, it can be a little cumbersome and just, it's big when you're looking at the whole thing. But when you start to get to the point where you can take these individual, pieces of information, like I look at them as like, okay, like the Chris Watts and Nicole Kessinger self-reported timeline, right? Okay. The, Shannan Watts social media timeline, that I have like these various like timelines that are all running parallel to one another. When you start to take all of the information and compare it and contrast it and see where things line up and where they don't, everything becomes very telling, don't you think?
Yeah, and actually Sarah Lodi, I don't know if you want to read her comment.
Sure, I'd love to. I just got to find it. Do you want to read it? Go ahead, read it.
She supposedly got it all together, but she fell for the oldest line in the cheater book.
I know. That's true.
And then she's Googling, man I'm having an affair with says he will leave his wife. Bitch, you knew that you were doing something bad.
I know. She sure did. I mean, you know what? That's a good point. So I'm glad that you said this. Really good point, both of you. Let's go back to actually the Discovery timeline. There were a couple things I wanted to follow up with on that. Oh, sometimes I'm just so like, I'm lucky I have you guys. I need an audience to like spill out all of this out of my head too. Like this is
I understand.
Could you imagine if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I'd go crazy.
Same.
Oh my gosh. Okay. It's just nuts. So thank you guys. You're wonderful. So here, all right. So we already, So here, this is interesting. The next item after the September 1st, 2017 Kessinger search for Shannan is on May 29th, 2018. It says Shannan began filming in the kitchen of 2825 Saratoga Trail. She stepped in front of the camera briefly to show off her shirt with the embossed words, "Oops, we did it again." When she stepped out of the camera's view, Dieter the dog ran off. And then there's Watts' reaction, and it says 76 days later, Shannan, her unborn child, Bella, and Celeste were murdered. I mean, how poignant is that?
That's just sad.
Ugh,
it's sad because the children paid for the mistakes of the adults. But adults, we have this responsibility to children to keep them safe.
Well, and I think that, responsibility of the adults, and please, I want to give this disclaimer. Please, I am not placing blame on any family member of either party or any close friend of either party.
Yeah.
I'm saying this is a lesson and a cautionary tale for everyone, including myself, because I understand that it's much easier to be a Monday morning quarterback than it is to, to execute the plays properly in the game.
Yes.
I get it. But this family, in my opinion, was in crisis. Yep. There were so many indications here that this family, that the adults we're in a state of crisis. And God, and again, I'm not placing any blame, but if God gave us the gift of them having this to do over again, I wish that somebody would have said, listen, you're not going to go back to North Carolina with those children in this state. You guys are a freaking mess. What is going on here? Here's all the warning signs. This is like an intervention. Like that. What's going on? You know what? Figure your stuff out. We'll take the children. It's the children, man.
Just watch out for your family. That's all. Just watch out for your
Yeah,
family.
that's
It.
right. I just think there were so many opportunities for this to not happen, but it's the perfect storm.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm going to say this, and probably the only time I'll talk about it, but my niece died at 1 year old about a year, like that first year of COVID. And then soon after
I'm
that,
so sorry.
oh, it's okay. She's our little angel. But you know, a couple of days later, my mom took her kids and brought them back home to her, and we took care of them for 6-7 months, just because you know what, we needed to watch out for each other. Let's take the other children out of there and let them deal with whatever they got to deal with, and then we'll all come back together when it's time.
That's right. That's awesome. Yeah, that's like a model example of looking out and helping each other out, and everyone needs it sometimes. So and I really truly do believe if Shannan Watts could now or after her death have a wish for her legacy, I think she would want her story to be told truthfully, and I believe she would want to help others by having her story be told, particularly towards the end of her life. Her whole thing was to be there for her family and to help other people. And if this example of this story we can see it play out, is a lesson to anyone, please just, when you're in a state of crisis, reach out for help. If you observe others in a state of crisis, get involved. To say, oh, that's not my business, that can be literally a lethal mistake.
You have some people in the chat. I don't know if you want to address that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They're talking about the gender. I don't know. We probably need to scroll up a little bit, but Aaron on the side of caution brings up a question.
Okay, thank you, darling. I really appreciate it. Okay, so how did Shannan? Okay, so this is I'll go over this again because I think that freaking onesie confuses things. So Aaron says, so how did Shannan already know she was having a boy at only 14 weeks? I just Googled it, and at 14 weeks, so you're saying not just the onesie, but that they were going to be having the gender reveal party, right? He said, I just Googled it, and 14 weeks is the earliest time for trying to get the gender. Usually you find out the gender at 18 to 21 weeks. I'm not a medically trained person. I don't know the answer to that. I do know that they had just found, apparently they'd gone to the doctors. The gender had been determined. It was told to Nicole Atkinson. It was going to be revealed. Sarah Lottie answers and says, they can get the gender via blood work, chromosomes. You don't have to wait for visual timelines anymore. Yeah, it's like the same kind of testing. Is this right, Sarah? If you were to be testing for Down syndrome or other genetic abnormalities, I think it would be the same kind of testing. Is that right? I don't really know a lot about this.
Feverish Fiend says that gender reveal party was canceled, right? Yes.
Yep. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Let's see. What are you guys talking about there? Something just caught my eye with the closet.
And maybe something to consider. Maybe, let's put it out, just a theory, y'all. Don't quote me, but maybe if she didn't really know it was a boy, maybe she already knew that something was going on with CW, and maybe she saw a text or something that said from her, like, I want to give you your first boy. So
yeah,
I'm not saying that it's okay to do that, but if they're fighting this battle, women get very catty, y'all. We do.
That's right.
And I'm not being sexist. We
no,
know.
I agree. You know what? And I could see any of those scenarios going down. And I think it's important to discuss, the possibilities of how this played out is being as real as possible. And you're calling it like it is. And I'm going to admit, listen, Does anyone want to admit that they've had a little bit of crazy NK or Shannan in them at some point in their lives? I know I have. And I think that for most people to say that they don't recognize any of that in themselves at any point whatsoever, I just don't believe that.
I have literally gone a little crazy, looked through my man's phone.
I've done it too.
I've done some shit, y'all, but it's because I love him
know.
and I don't want
I
to lose
know.
him. And we get
I've
crazy a little bit. Sorry.
That's right. I've done it too. Yep. I've done it too. I've made some bad mistakes doing it. I've kind of learned some lessons. And you know what? Yes, we're humans. So
And
Desiree
women-
says, "Oh, I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
Mom.
Go ahead, honey.
No, I was
No,
going
go
to say
ahead.
women are the best detectives.
That's right. That's true. So Desiree said she found out it was a boy a week before she died, right before she went to Arizona. Shannan agreed not to reveal the baby's gender until Monday, August 13th, 2018, the day she died. Thank you, Desiree. That's so sad. Yeah. I think that's accurate. That's just so
I'm so
sad.
sorry.
Oh. And thank you, Black Cadillac says it's a great chat. I'm glad you're here. I was just eyeing up what you and Elizabeth were talking about. So you guys are having a conversation I'm interested in. So Elizabeth says something about, how did this come up, guys? She says to Black Cadillac, and snooping through her things, most probably. And then Black Cadillac says, I've been following this. For sure, she saw that closet. I bet she did.
She was just wondering jelly.
She was definitely jelly. I'm just wondering how they got into this conversation. That's a good one. So then Elizabeth says, absolutely, NK and her evil appraising eyes. Her evil appraising eyes. I love that.
Damn.
She was always, that's so accurate. She was appraising the value of everything, wasn't she? I love that.
She was.
Hi, Lori Welsh. Welcome. Hi, Diana. Welcome. How are you doing?
Yes, Charlie's Angels, John. But I mean, hello, Charlie's Angels saved the world. Have you watched the movie?
Yeah. Right. It's soon.
I mean, I didn't feel good about looking at his phone, Diana. I did not. I'm not saying it's right. I mean, I'm older now. I'm not going to do that shit anymore.
I was just going to address that. So Sandy says, and it's to Melody, now I'm confused. I don't know. I could be wrong. Chris didn't know the gender yet. I think you're saying it's too much with a Facebook post to keep up. I understand that. So, after the gender reveal party was canceled, Shannan and Chris did find out the gender. It's probably in the timeline. I don't remember an exact date on that. So he eventually did know what the gender was. Now, what's like triggering in my mind is, Shannan. Oh, I know. One of their last, while Shannan was in Arizona, Chris was telling her, I believe this is how it went. I'm going to find it. About how Bella was still like insisting it was going to be a boy. Yeah. And she's like, if it's a girl I'm sorry, she wants a sister. So if it's a boy, I'm just going to return it or something. I don't remember what the exact words was. But here, I'm going to find this for us. I know it is very confusing. I'm sorry. It is a lot to go over. See, this is one of the reasons that, the repetition can be good, because it's hard to get it all straight.
I'm sorry, Kelly, if I got you off topic.
No. I love having you up here. That's wonderful. That's awesome. Thank you so much for being up here. It's great. I would have it no other way. Let's see. Shannan. That's a phrase. Oh.
I don't know about you, Kelly, but when I'm reading this part of the discovery, I imagine I put myself in the shoes of what I'm reading, right? So when Ronnie says this, I put myself in the dad role, and then when Shannan says that, just to kind of have a better understanding instead of looking at it like just myself.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to do it. So this is interesting. I haven't given this enough thought, I don't think, but I think this is on August 10th. We'll verify that moment at 2:33 in the afternoon. Well, okay, let's go back a little farther. At 1:50 in the afternoon, Ronnie Watts, Chris Watts' father, asked if Chris Watts deleted his Facebook account. And Chris Watts replied, yes, sir, liberated myself. That's interesting. Let me just see what's before that.
Probably liberated himself from Shannan Watts always posting and the girlfriend not questioning him about shit anymore.
That's right. Exactly. Very, very good. Probably exactly, Ara. That's awesome. So then shortly after that, Ronnie Watts, Chris Watts' father, asks Chris, so this is Ronnie Watts saying this, if she, referring to Shannan's gone, you think we could FaceTime with the girls tonight? Or do you think that's a good idea? Don't want to get anything started. Then Chris Watts replies to his father that he feared Bella would tell Shannan.
Dude, if you want to see your grandchildren, just
I know.
see your fucking grandchildren.
I
Relax.
Ronnie
God.
responded, that's what I'm afraid of. If she finds out, she would probably have a fit. Don't want to make things worse. And Watts agreed. Now, Ara, I agree exactly with what you're saying, but I do have to say this. The whole Nutgate thing, from, listening to all the information available and all perspectives of it, I mean, Shannan, I believe in my opinion, that was blown way out of proportion to what the actual F is going on here.
I agree.
I mean, so we all saw, or we have some understanding based from everyone's accounts and people telling us, how that happened and what that did, how much devastation that caused so many people. I mean, it was literally tearing the seams of the family apart.
Well, because they didn't know how to talk to each other. There was no conflict resolution there. I mean,
oh no,
the Nutgate thing didn't just happen because just like out of nowhere. I mean, there were several things that led up to Shannan just like blowing up, like not going to the wedding, not going to birthday parties, and she didn't feel like a part of their family. And I know that people are not super close to the, like to their in-laws. However, when you have children, it's about the children, and teach the children how to be adults. They need to watch you how to solve problems with other people, with family, because then otherwise, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, totally. And that was, the whole, you said conflict resolution or crisis resolution. There was nothing to handle those situations and the emotions and just like the normal human relationships that can, start to become injured and, get out of control if you don't tend to them and nurture them and heal them and do what you need to keep them healthy. And they really just did not have a lot of that. It's very sad. I mean,
Miss Kelly, I need to jump down because my fiance is getting home soon and I want to be there to greet him.
Hi, fiance. Aw, we'll tell him thank you for letting us borrow you so much. And that's wonderful. Please go be there for him.
Well, he's not here yet, but I just want to make sure I'm here.
Okay.
To give him attention, You know how it is.
Yes. Well, we're just saying, you have to nurture your relationships to go do it.
But I love
Thank you
very
for coming
much,
up. I love you too, darling. Thank you so much. I love it whenever you come up. Do it more often.
I'll be having an after party at some point. Those that know what I'm talking about.
Awesome. Are you going to be doing it tonight or no?
Yeah, I'll be doing it maybe like way later.
Oh my gosh. It's like, okay, cool. Awesome.
Right.
Very good.
Love y'all.
Bye, honey. Love you too. Bye. Okay. So to answer the question, guys, about did Chris Watts, Sandy, and I'm sorry, it's getting confusing in there. I went off topic again. But to answer the question, if Chris Watts knew that they were expecting a boy. So this is I believe this is August 10th or 11th. I'll verify this in a moment. I just will have to scroll up and see where we are in Discovery. It's either August 10th or 11th. So it's either the Friday or Saturday before the murders. At 9:45, here's what the timeline says. Although not found in Watts' phone, so it's just in Shannan's phone, Shannan asked him, have you talked to Bella about if we have a boy? Watts said, not yet, and added, she said when the baby comes out, she will pretend it's a girl. So cute. Shannan indicated she was laughing and said, oh my God, I love her. Okay. All right. So let me just verify what day this is. Okay, so that was the 11th. right around the same time that Kessinger, in anticipation for Evening with Watts, spent 45 minutes searching Google for topics like how to prepare for anal sex, the anal sex guide, and then it progressed to searches at Pornhub for interracial porn and threesomes with double penetration. They were just really like not on the same page at all. Meanwhile, Watts is calling the local Papa John's pizza store. Oh my gosh. So, all right. Let's see. So Diana, I do agree. She says looking at anyone else's phone behind their back is wrong, in my opinion, but I overall agree with everything you are saying. The worst feeling is looking and not finding anything at all. LOL. That's right. Yeah. And it is such a terrible thing. And in the one relationship, I was engaged to this person. I'm still really good friends with him. Wonderful man. We didn't get married. We ended up breaking up. I was in my early 20s. I'm 43 now. I was so young. He was a little older than me, just this amazing guy. And he's still such a good friend to me. And his wife is wonderful. And I just love these people. But, we've talked about it after we broke up, why things happened, because we had such a wonderful relationship and, he had whatever. And for me, it was just, I had these immaturity things that were just really due to my age. And many of the mistakes I made in that relationship, like snooping around like that, I would not do again because I saw how devastating it was. Anyway, but you're right. It's not good. Okay. Yeah. So I think a lot of people have said something like this. Desiree is saying, yes, she knew Shannan, something was going on with Chris. She was afraid she was losing her husband. When we see all of those posts from that time period in June, I like that is just so clearly how the message comes across to me. What's John doing? Oh. Let's see. Oh gosh. Melody says, Bella and Cece love both their grandparents. And Bella also said that Ronnie was her best friend. Those girls adored all four of their grandparents. And in my opinion, all four of those grandparents, the Watts grandparents and the Rusicks grandparents, were wonderful, loving grandparents. I see nothing but love in those relationships. I know some people have things to say about either family. I do not. My heart goes out to both families. I respect both of them. We're all human beings. I cannot believe the loss that they've endured. And in my opinion, they were wonderful, caring, loving grandparents with all of their virtues and all of their flaws, just like the rest of us. So, yes, Melody, thank you for saying that. Let's see. So then Diana said to my little rant about my immaturity in my relationship. Diana said, I agree with you, Kelly. I'm always amazed every time I act immature. My husband handles it with love and care. But before it would be to hurt people, egging each other on. Yeah, totally. Oh, and that's wonderful. I'm glad you have that kind of relationship. And that's, what happens when we have loving, well-developed relationships is, the other person, just handles our flaws with love and care. Just like you said, that's beautiful. I love it. Oh. Let's see. No, it's good. Oh, geez. Hey, I'm going to pin this. Diane says, you look 23 even now, Kelly. LOL. Thank you, girl. Thank you. I don't feel it, especially when I wake up in the morning. Thank you, though. Aw. It's okay, Ari. You can get some attention. It's all good. It doesn't have to go back to me. And I say this about this channel, and I mean it. I think I say it mostly when, there's some weird things going on, and I sort of have to defend us. But this channel, I don't want it to be about me or my opinion or my anything. It's about it's about the community. It's about this case. It's about justice. It's about, what we can accomplish when we put our minds to something and work towards a goal, which in my opinion, for most people here, is ensuring that complete justice is served for the victims in this case. And so many of the things that I'm able to put out on this channel are because of what you guys have brought back to me in the form of comments, in the form of emails, whatever, a million different things. Maybe, people like, so yeah, I don't want it to be about me. But thank you, Ari. You're so sweet. Let's see. So then Diana also says, I think both grandparents are loving too. Chris and Shannan's parents. I'm coming around to a new perspective. Oh, that's good. That's good. What was your old perspective? I'm curious if you want to share. Oh, Sarah says I sucked them because I was looking at my husband of 14 years phone until we divorced, but he was always unfaithful. Well, honey, no, you don't suck. There was obviously a reason you were drawn to do that. So, I hope that you're feeling good about that relationship and, whatever happened with it. I hope you're healed in that way now. Relationships are hard, man. Let's see. Yes, that's right. Diana says again, LOL, are you and Curious Rose make this channel pretty sweet too? And that is so very true. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I always think it makes a better live when one of you guys is here for sure. Okay, so Diana again, I'm just keep picking your comments, girl. I hope it's okay. My new perspective is that Chris's grandma, who raised him at a young age, had something to do with how he turned out. Oh, like for better or worse? That's interesting. I've never even considered that. I know that we see, I know that the grandmother and one other person were the only people close, like family of Chris Watts, to attend the wedding. I know that in North Carolina, he was visiting her. She was in a nursing home. I know that there's some sweet pictures of Bella as a little baby with the grandmother. She was clearly an important person in his life. So you went and expanded on this, saying Chris's mom shows signs of narcissism because it's learned behavior from her own mother. I think that I can see where you see that. And I think NK had some kind of psychological disorder, but she meant well overall. I don't see her murdering. I personally, with, my background in psychology, I'm not a clinical psychologist. I have a background in studying psychology and applied behavioral analysis. What I see in her are traits of borderline personality disorder, same as in Amber Heard. I could totally be wrong, but I definitely see a psychological disorder there. John McSmith says, Daddy Kessinger was a supportive father to his daughter during her stressful interview. Shout out to Dwayne Kessinger. I think he was being a loving father, doing what he believed was his best for his daughter. I totally agree with you, John. John, we're agreeing so often. This is really strange. Yay. Melody says, what I find very odd is when those guys open the hatch with no mask, with all of that fume they would have dropped. That is why I really need to find somebody who is truly like an expert in being out in the field at those oil tanks. Yeah, because I sort of, yeah, right. Yes, I've had that idea too. I'm gonna follow up on this. This has been an area of intense interest of mine, and people ask questions about this a lot. So let's see what we can figure out. Oh, thank you. So yes, please hit like and subscribe and hit the bell so you get notifications for the channel. I'd really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Diana says generational cycle of abuse or something, and maybe Chris grew up with borderline or some kind of psychotic disorder. So I think there's definitely a lot of, in both families, there's a lot of generational. So one of the things that I specialize in my work is trauma survivors and crisis intervention for trauma survivors. And I see those same cyclical generational things, Diana. And unfortunately, the pattern's not being broken. The story that stands out to me, I'm interested why you're saying this about Chris Watts, is, his mother talking about in his childhood that he would lock himself in the bathroom and be like praying and crying. And I always wondered, and she said that this happened over and over again. And listen, like I said, I support both families. I love them. I feel for them. I just want to hug all of them. I don't have nasty things to say about them at all. And I think people should have respect. They've been through a lot. If any mother said this, I would bring it into question, that time and time again, Chris Watts would lock himself in the bathroom and he'd be crying and praying. I'm like, sister girlfriend, why didn't you find out what was going on? I know if my son were locking himself in the bathroom and I heard him crying and praying, I would not let that would not just go unattended. I would want to know what was going on. I would want to support him. I think that if I observed that, I would be feeling his pain and his hurt. And I'm his mom. I love him. I want that to stop. And then also, I think just from a, psychological, from an emotional wellness perspective, that might be something that would have to be like escalated or elevated, to the realms of getting professional help. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Whenever you can come up, that would be great. And I hope you feel better. I'm sorry you don't feel well. Aw, you guys are so sweet. Yes, I know. It's hard. Relationships are hard. Yeah. So, okay, Melody says, even when they went into the manhole and stood beside the manhole, nobody had masks on. I know that I really don't know what to make about it, not being somebody who has any expertise in the field. It does strike me as being a question. Let's see, Sarah, you seem to know a lot about this. Sarah says safety gas employee monitors react to gas exposure. Help me out there, Sarah. Let's see. What is that, Kev? Let's see. Oh, thank you so much, Holly. Yes, thank you, darling. Thank you for the super sticker. You're so sweet. Thank you, sweetheart. I don't even think I've said hello to you this evening. Hello and welcome, and thank you so much. Thank you for supporting the channel. Let's see. Yeah, so Diana is saying, about, I heard that too, that he would cry too as a child and feel guilty. So it's these sick values or extreme values that his grandmother put in him, maybe. I don't know. I maybe like you're putting that out there and I'm going to think about it now and see if I can find information about it. I literally just have never thought about that. But this is an interesting perspective, I guess, because, she was this older little grandma in a nursing home and she was the one that went to the wedding. I guess like in my mind, I pictured her next to my cute little grandma who's in a nursing home and would, always be at every event. Obviously, that's not reality. That's just what my brain did. And see how everything in our own minds, well, everything out there is, almost everything is subjective. But you made that separation. Chris Watts' grandma is not my sweet, lovely little grandmother. So now I have to think about her as being a different person who may have been very different. That's interesting. Does anyone else know anything about grandma? Aw, Nilda, you too, darling. You're so sweet. Thank you so much. Aw, you guys are awesome. This our chat community and channel community is just the bomb. Thank you guys. Let's see. Okay, so what is the H? I saw Kevin say this. I didn't want to bother him because I know he doesn't feel good, but then a feverish fiend brought it up. What is the H2S sensor? So A feverish fiend is saying to Kevin, who works something with the oil fields. I don't know specifically, Kevin. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I just don't know what your exact position is. Or no, you're saying to Edward. Absolutely, 100%. My husband works on a rig. They'll shut the whole thing down if someone's H2S sensor goes off. So, what is an H2S sensor? Let's see. Oh, do you want? Well, hold it. Do you say? I thought Kevin didn't want to come up. Kevin, you can definitely come up. Here, I'll drop the link if you or anyone else does want to come up. I'm great with that. Man, it's late, but it's okay. Saturday, I guess. Oh, you're right. His needs were ignored. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay, Kevin. Kevin, if you can come up, that would be wonderful. I'd love for you to come up. If you can't, it's okay. I totally understand. Here, I'll drop the link again. Do your thing. Come on up whenever you can, if you can. Let's see. Huh. That's interesting. I never heard one man ever anywhere say that he envied Chris Watts in his life. Have you? I doubt it. Well, actually, comments all the time on the channel ever since literally probably the day I put up the first video. People will say, man, Chris Watts had everything any man could ever want. And I think they're obviously talking about his life before, the affair and everything else that happened. So I can tell you that much, John, but that's like all I know. Yeah, Julie, and welcome, Julie. Hi, I don't think I've said hi to you yet. Welcome, glad you're here. Julie says it also seems like they didn't talk about stuff. So I think she's talking about Chris Watts and his parents or his family. Didn't he always say that his dad didn't talk about hard stuff? Yes. He said that time and time again in his interview with Tammy Lee and Graham Coder. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Edward, what are you asking? Do you have to be a member for? Probably not. There are very few things you have to. Oh, you answered this earlier. Edward says, hydrogen sulfide is the biggest risk killer regarding crude oil production, way deadlier than carbon monoxide, for example. Edward, thank you so much. Edward, do you want to come up? And are you asking, do you have to be a member to come up? I think you offered that like 10 minutes ago, but you are welcome to come up. And no, you don't have to be a member. There are very, very few things that are members only. Sunday night live and chat is one of them. And that's just because I just truly, honestly, I need a smaller group of people who feel really connected to the channel to share some things with it or of a more sensitive nature that I don't feel comfortable talking about necessarily on an open live stream and just like get some feedback. So I don't ever mean to be like exclusive or not including everyone, but like sometimes I just have that need just to make sure I'm looking out for the channel. So that's like a good way to do it. So I was telling people I used to do, yeah, whatever. So that's just how that is. So here, and this is the membership link. If anyone wants to join, it's $2.99 a month. Yeah. So going back to what you were saying, Julie, we definitely do get the impression that Chris Watts and his family, that things weren't really talked about. And then is also Julie and everyone, his mom during her interviews and in the book that was kind of published, she tells stories about, Shannan would share this with us, or Shannan's mother told us this, or whatever. And she'd say, our family's just not like that. It made me feel a little sad and uncomfortable to hear that. And I hope that Chris didn't share about our family the way, like, say, Shannan was sharing about her family, because that's not how we do things, So, yeah, I think you're exactly right there. Holly S says, Chris' grandma makes me sad. I hope she passed on before all this. Yeah, I was just thinking about that too, Holly. Yeah, I know. I know. God, I'd hate for her to. Oh my God, I know. I know. Hmm. Oh. Yeah, Diana, this is so true. Diana says people who have a good heart don't get the concept of an evil mother and overbearing mother. I can't imagine treating a tiny soul that I bring into life like that. Oh my God, I know. Oh my God. I just, I think, most of you are like this. Like, I do anything to love my son more, to bring him more joy, to cause him less pain. And if I ever do anything that's not in line with that, it's just because I've made a mistake and I didn't know better. But there are some parents that you observe that are total like that's not the situation. They're just not doing the way some of us would do. I don't know. Yeah, that's a hard one. So let's see. So John and Melody, take her easy. You guys are both passionate people. So Melody is saying, so if it wasn't oil, like you're saying, John, so that means the Rusiks lied to Dr. Phil about the oil in her granddaughters and the skin slippage. Is that what you're saying? I can't even remember exactly what it was they told Dr. Phil about that. But yeah, that's I mean, my God, those poor baby girls. My God. I'm sorry. I don't mean to just say that like so matter of factly. Oh, thank you, Diana. Thank you. I hope so. Hi, Ho Chi Winner. I don't think I've said hello to you yet. I've seen you. It's nice to see you. Always glad that you're here. Oh, bye, Ara. Thanks so much for coming up. Thank you, darling. Have a good night with your fiance. Sandy asks, do we know any info on NK's mom? That's very interesting. We know very little info on NK's mom. I'll speak for myself. I know very little info on NK's mom. There are rumors or stories about that she worked in Anadarko, and it was perhaps her that helped to get NK the job. It may have been her that was a connection for perhaps NK meeting Chris Watts sooner than they admit to. And it was perhaps her that had a connection between NK and some person, like executive level person that there's rumors about that she dated. But I don't know any of that. I have not been able to substantiate really any of that. She seems to be much more to herself. There's not a lot out there of her. But that's a really good question. Yeah. Yeah, Julie says, I think what happened to the girls is what keeps us all connected to this case. We can't even comprehend. So I've talked about this from like a purely like psychological, like brain functioning perspective, Julie, especially when, there were calls for people to stop talking about this case on YouTube, or I'll have some, pushback on my channel at times in a very concentrated way. People don't want us saying this, don't want us talking about this. One of the families speaks out towards a lot of creators on YouTube, leave us alone, stop causing us pain, stop this, stop this, stop this, stop this. And, the point that I make, and I just believe this, is I truly, really do not want to cause any harm or hurt to the family members or anyone else out there. In fact, it's one of the intentions of this channel to be able to exist without causing that harm and hurt to people. I'm not okay with that. And I've said this before. I feel like the existence of this channel is causing more harm and hurt than it is good, or not even that equation. It's causing more harm or hurt than I'm just okay with, which isn't like a 50-50 split. It's a lot, less than that. Then I would not have this channel anymore. It would stop. There's nothing that could keep me to continue this channel if it was causing like all of this bad stuff out there, right? The fact of the matter is, whether this channel exists or Armchair Detective exists or any of the other channels that cover the Watts case exist, people know about this case. It has grabbed the hearts and minds of so many people since it first happened. People come back to this case. So many people, I mean, just the comments that I read on this channel, people that, that's why I call it What's the Obsession. People say they're obsessed with it. People say they can't get enough of it. People say they can't get away from it. People just have this compulsion to know more about it. And from a purely psychological perspective, and we're talking like brain function, it is an evidence-based, proven psychological fact about human beings that we tend to perseverate on observed dynamics in other human beings that are that first of all trigger such a strong response within us, like a fear response, like any kind of adrenaline related response, any sort of actually hormonal. It's late. This is a little late for me to be talking about the scientific stuff, but anything that solicits a really strong response that we really cannot comprehend, cannot get our minds around. There's this like underlying innate fear that drives us to understand, because when you get down to the core of it, not in a selfish way, but in a very human way, our mind says to itself, oh my gosh, could this happen to me? I didn't know that this was a possibility as a human being. I like the world where this happening to myself or anyone else is surely not a possibility, because, oh my God, it's so horrific. How could this happen? Psychologically, we're always going to be driven towards those things, to understand them, to stay close to them, because we feel if they get too far away from us, that is going to just really allow the fear to expand and allow the possibility of it becoming our reality to grow as well. I don't know if I explained that very well, but people are always going to be drawn towards true crime cases, towards cases like this, whether or not they're being talked about on YouTube or not. So, I don't know. I don't have anything more to say about that this evening, but let's see. Sandy says, I'm a mom and I can't wrap my head around what he did, and because NK is shady. Plus, it was mostly caught on video. Mommy, my God, how could it's just this guy. I'm back, Ara. You're so funny. Everything good? Oh, hello, Lobo. How are you? It's okay to analyze and discuss this case. Well, thank you. I like that you always give us permission in a very logical, rational, and intelligent way. Thank you. Welcome, and I'm so glad to see you. Exactly. Great point, Elizabeth. This was a missing point of what the rant I just went on. Elizabeth fills in my thoughts that are escaping and says it's like the Gabby Petito case. It is because we have video footage, we feel connected also to these women. That's an extremely important component of this case. Yes, exactly. We've been let into the lives of the Watts family. I know they didn't invite us, but we all know that what is put on the internet is going to live forever. So just by virtue of all of that being out there, we've gotten this really intimate inside look into this family, which makes us feel more connected. Exactly, Elizabeth. Really good point. Thank you. Yes. Edward says people still debate and discuss the Charles Manson murders, and that happened in 1969, didn't it? Some year like that. And yes. And even before that, I think that, like Jack the Ripper, there's even, history, not even of serial killers, but just like family and I, even before that. So, yeah. Oh, hi, Tammy. And Tammy says, I just want to say that my heart goes out to the family. This is just so sad. Thank you for just sharing that nice, sense. Yeah, I know. It is. Oh. And yes, Amityville. Yep, that's right. Oh, That's interesting. Yeah, a lot of people say something similar to this, Julie. Not that, I mean, your experience is unique and also shared by many. So Julie says, me as well, Desiree, and I'm not sure what Desiree said. I live near the area where the crime happened. So I saw the interview on the porch that the day it happened and was like, oh, damn, he did it. And I've been obsessed ever since. Yeah. And I live nowhere near where the crime happened. And, I heard about it when I was in New York, not where I am now, but different part of New York. I remember exactly. And I still heard about it that day. It became definitely national news immediately. Yeah. Lobo says thankful for other Watts geeks. Definitely. Yes. I'm thankful for all of you. Edward says to Ara, welcome back because we missed you. Yes. Oh, yeah. Black Cadillac. Definitely. It was long ago, but the List case, another family, all gone by father. His excuse was finances, I think you're saying. Yes. Yep, you're right. You know what? I think I might do a video on the List case sometime because there's a lot of parallels. Yeah, you're right. Yes. Diana, I haven't done much on the Petito case. But that is a very interesting aspect. If I find out, I don't know, maybe I would look into it, but probably not. There's a couple other cases I'm looking into now, but if I can think of any other really good Petito resources, do you guys, this is great. Channels that cover the Petito case. What are some of your favorites? Put them in chat for Diana and others who are interested. I like to share the love. I always say about YouTube, there's literally like infinity views to go around. There's no need for anyone to be all hoarding about it. I like to promote other channels. Oh, today? Ara Petito's notebook was released today. Oh, maybe we will be doing a video about it. I agree with you, Desiree. I'm sorry. Desiree says, I don't think that Chris Watts is handsome at all. Yeah. And he's maybe, I don't know, whatever, but I don't think he's handsome either. John McSmith, you miss my little taquito talk, don't you? I'm a spicy enchilada con queso. Yes, I know. Just like the little sexy empanada. So Petito's notebook was released today. Oh, J for Justice. Okay, on the Petito case, Ho Chi Winner is recommending. You can still give the recommendations, but if it was released today, I might go research that and put in. We would do a live, but definitely give out recommendations too, because maybe I don't even need to take that on. But anyway, recommend anyhow. La taquito. LOL. Taquito, la taquito, el taquito. Do you believe what he wrote? This is very interesting. Do you believe? Oh, I have to look into this now. I don't know. Maybe we'll be doing a live stream on the Petito notebook tomorrow. Would you guys be interested in that? So Elizabeth says, I often feel cases like this and Gabby's because of all the footage, even though the horror were meant for some higher purpose. No, I don't apologize. I believe that too. And I believe in part when I'm saying that I think that Shannan would want people to be learning the lessons from her story. Like there's that connection to what you're saying too. I think that that's like a beautiful thought. And, my gosh, I hope it's like that with all of the, like you said, sheer horror of the situations. Wouldn't it be wonderful to know that, there was a higher good? Oh yeah. Zav Girl has covered a lot in Petito too. She's good. I really like Zav Girl. I definitely recommend her anytime. Let's see. Mrs. O says, I wish law enforcement had reconstructed how hard it would be. Oh, it would have been to lift, carry, and place Shannan Watts into a truck like they did with Scott Peterson case in the boat. I think that would, yes. I mean, law enforcement did so little, right, Mrs. O? Like, I couldn't even imagine. That would be like way above and beyond with the scope of what they would do. But it certainly would have been helpful. I think that was a really powerful point in the Scott Peterson case. Absolutely. Oh my God. The true crime community should petition the Department of Justice to release Maxwell's client list. Hells yeah. Seriously, good idea. So if I were to have a petition drawn up by somebody, would you guys all help me get it out there? Yeah, I do watch that too. So Desiree says I pull up the WFLA. It's a Florida Channel Live for the Petito case. That was my source for the Petito case as well. But yeah. Okay. So Petito's notebook was just released today. Would you guys want to do a like hour-long live stream tomorrow evening talking about it, or you guys not into that? Oh, thank you so much, Sandy. Thank you. So Sandy's saying bye to everyone. Says it's great chatting with y'all. Love the channel. Thank you for being here, Sandy. Everyone being so nice. I have to go to bed. Yes, it is late, isn't it? Oh my gosh, it's so late. Have a good night, sweetheart. Thank you for being here and contributing so much. Aw. I know. Elizabeth, I know. You're not I hear things like that from people all the time. I cry about this a lot too. I know. It's just like your heart can only handle so much of the reality of this. So I know, I understand. I know. I know. Well, Sarah, I get that. So, Lobo just said, we should have a petition. The true crime community should petition for Maxwell's client list to be released. Beautiful idea. Sarah says no petition will make the feds release records. We're still waiting for JFK documents. I know, you're right. But, you're right. Okay. So then the question is, what is the point in going through the exercise of having that done and putting the energy into it just to make yourself feel good? Or, okay, so I have to think about this more. Good point. Fair enough. But I think it should be released. But sometimes you do make headway. I can't think of an instance right now, but mostly because I'm tired. But I'm going to come back to you with that, Sarah. So Sarah Barkley says, in regards to Petito notebook, Brian Laundrie's notebook, she says in the notebook he wrote like he was just taking her pain away, and he's stupid to think he would believe that. She wasn't a dog. Screw Brian. I've got to read this. Yeah, I was so involved in work this week. I have not been on YouTube or anything. So yeah, I'm gonna look into this. So yeah, we might do a live stream tomorrow night to talk about that. But seriously, it's going to have to be a short one. Yes. Okay. So a lot of you are saying you would like that. Okay. Let's do it. It's going to be like an hour and we're going to streamline it. So be ready to go. I promise. Because I have to do some other things this weekend. Let's see. But yeah. Law enforcement said the handwriting was almost illegible because of being submerged in water, but it looks pretty legible to me. Also, Brian Laundrie says, it was a shock to my parents too, indicating his parents. Oh, well, that's a revelation. Yeah. Wow. That's really interesting. No. Well, okay. So John says, I knew we were agreeing too much today, John. John says law enforcement didn't have to do all that because they had a verified confession. But they didn't have a verified confession. The confession was not verified. That's the problem, sweetie. So Aaron on the side of caution says, if Brian Laundrie actually wrote that note, which a huge part of me doesn't believe he wrote that, because his story of what occurred is outrageous. I have no context. I haven't read it. I've got to read it. Melody points out that Roberta and Chris Laundrie never showed up to court. Desiree heard, we are all over the place. I love you guys so much. Desiree heard that, whoops. Let's see. Where'd you? Oh, Desiree heard that Tom Hanks was on the list, and she's talking about Maxwell's client list. That Lobo suggests that the true crime community petitions to be released, and I'm like, yeah. Mrs. O points out to John McSmith that my friend, my nemesis, that Chris Watts, by the way, is a verified liar. Just saying. Good point. I'm sure it is way too soon, John. Keep them to yourself. Oh. Yeah. Too many rich and famous perverted men on Ghislaine Maxwell's list to be released. I'm sure it never will be released. It never will. You're right. You're right. It never will. Huh. The month Gabby Petito went missing, 32 other young women went missing. In the same area, or I know the thing, we focus on certain cases and give no attention to other cases. It's not that any one life is worth more than the other. It's really strange how that happens. And I mean, I'm not helping by focusing, but it's weird. So Sarah says, yes, he decided triage for a head injury and pain complaints was to put her out of her misery rather than to seek emergency care. Yeah, that really does sound like a dog, or not even. Good point, Sarah. Says, yeah, but it brings awareness to the FBI withholding info to protect people. Excellent point. Desiree says about Brian Laundrie, he told his parents he killed her before he left there. Oh my gosh. That's right. So Lobo points out, okay, I guess it was just a fantasy I was indulging. Kelly, no, we can't have you or any of your friends in any danger. The client list is who's who of power brokers. That's right. That's right. It was just a fantasy for a moment. Now it's ruined. All right. You gave it to me and you took it away. That's cool. Just kidding. Yes. Yeah, I was just thinking that. So he's like, no, that was a bad suggestion. Bad, too dangerous. Yeah, I was just gonna chastise you for that, but I decided to not. But you did yourself. Very good. Oh my gosh. Okay, so listen. All right, so it is like 2 a.m. This is the latest I think I've done a live stream. So I'm gonna end this because I need to go research the Brian Laundrie notebook now. So I'm gonna plan to do a 1 hour live stream tomorrow night, probably at 9, on the Brian Laundrie notebook, because this is kind of a big deal. And I'm always saying, and I do want to branch out to talk about things other than the Watts case, because I have to for myself, and I think it's good for the channel, and there's other things to talk about. You can get too obsessed, right? So we'll plan that for those of you that would like to join, and I hope all of you can join tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 60 minutos. I don't know. It's too tired. I'm too tired for Spanish right now, but 60 minutes of the Brian Laundrie notebook case. Yes, I know. Anaphylaxis, good night. I know I'm going to fall asleep soon too. I'm like losing my voice a little bit. So good night, Anaphylaxis. Join us tomorrow night if you can to talk the Brian Laundrie notebook. Thank you for being here. Oh my goodness. Yes. Lobo says the Petito notebook will be a palate cleanser. I love your humor. That's exactly kind of how I was thinking about it too. That's so funny. I love that you get that. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. Good night. Good night. Good night. Whoops. And Melody too. Let's see. Oh, she could have definitely done way better. That's what I was meaning to. Good night. Oh, awesome. Yes. Was piece of fiction. Well, gosh, I'm going to have a preconceived notion going in after reading all of your comments. No, but that's awesome. I can't wait to hear what you guys say about it after I've read it. So I actually have a context for it. So yes, awesome, Desiree. It was so great to see you. I hope to see you tomorrow. Definitely please be here. It was such a treat that you were here. Yes. So, okay, guys, I am going to go. Thank you so much, moderators. Thank you, everyone in chat. You guys are all awesome. I appreciate every single one of you. You're such a great community. Thank you for coming up, Ara. Oh, yeah, that's right. I think that, Ara, are you still doing the after hours chat? Somebody always has an after hours chat after this. Oh, my gosh, it gets so late. Yeah, I know. R.I.P. Sweet Gabby. Yeah. So I think I don't know. Or if you're still here. Oh, yes. Lobo says, and I ask, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications for the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah. So 9 more hours. Oh, yes. Oh, you're so sweet, Mrs. O. Thank you. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. Thank you to everybody who became a member too. There will be a members only, live stream and chat on Sunday evening at 8. Again, we're just going to be talking about some sensitive things. I don't think I really can talk about to everybody. Would like your opinion, feedback on some of it, reaction, responses. Be my special little guinea pigs. I mean that in the most loving, respectful way. I don't know if that sounded right. And just some other stuff too. So there's a link to channel membership if you'd like to join. It's $2.99 a month. Pacific time here, off to check the YouTube streets. Thanks for a great channel check. Enjoy. Let us know if you find anything really good. Okay, so Ara is gonna do her, and thank you, Black Calic. Thank you for being here. Ara is gonna do her live stream. She needs to stretch her legs first. Do you want to put the link in chat or what? Oh, John. I believe you're sincere, though, so that is a nice message, and it's your message, and I'm going to honor it. Yeah, Sarah, welcome. I'm so glad you were here. I'm glad you had a good experience. This is as late as we've gone. They can find me if they want to. Okay, so Ara says if you want to go to her after What's the Obsession live stream and chat party, you can find her if you want to. So she's playing hard to get. She's being like all that girly girl thing tonight. So, and Ara, thank you so much for coming up here. I wish you'd come up more. I love talking to you and hearing what you have to say. And you're just awesome. So thank you so much, my dear. All right, guys. Love y'all. And I hopefully will see you tomorrow to talk about the Brian Laundrie notebook for 60 minutes. Bye, guys. Oh, yeah. I don't need trolls. Yeah. Trolls. No trolls. No trolls. No trolls. No trolls. John. Aw. Thanks, John. You're awesome. All right. Bye, guys. Good night, Melody. Okay, I'm going to go now.